What's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 255. I am your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I am back, and so is Mr. Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? How's it going? I have returned from New York Comic Con.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, I'm back too.
Adam Vale.
What up, people? Welcome to the internet.
And, of course, Mr. Brian Monjoma.
I, for one, welcome our new Chinese overlord.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yo,
I was going to ask you, Brian, like, yo, to let you go, son? They let you go, man?
No joke, gotta be careful.
Yeah,
to get disconnected from that comment.
Hey, Throwdown ain't owned by the Chinese yet, so we're gonna talk some stuff.
Yeah, unless we get some Tencent money, then Brian, you might let.
No, it don't even have to be us. Think about it. It could be Discord, just like how they do the whole audio rights. If they can tell if it's a copyright.
Adam, save it for the show. We will talk about that. Don't worry about it. So yeah, with the exception of Brett, because somebody had to fucking Throwdown is fully back in its Voltron form here. You know, if we have time later, Manny and I may tell you some stories about Comic-Con, even though I'm pretty sure Manny has more stories than I. I didn't really do much but drink this year. You know, whatever.
And pizza
power. Hold on. Before we even start this motherfucker. All right, so everybody will see Adam back in the house. You know, he's on camera again. Adam wants to show us something special, man. What's going on?
Yeah, if you could see.
Excuse me? Keep it family friendly, though.
Turtles.
Family friendly.
Arcade. What?
Keep it family friendly, man. The shit you're going to show us, man.
Family friendly. Oh, yeah. Family friendly. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade 1-up cabinet that has the original arcade Turtles game and Turtles in Time, which did show up in arcades. A lot of people think it was just a Super NES game. It was not.
I played that in an arcade.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, you'd be surprised. I saw some people reviewing it. It was like, oh, finally they put it in a machine. No, finally, the shit was in the arcades.
Dumbasses.
So, beautiful.
Popo's coming.
Oh, it got quiet, man.
It got quiet. Well, we heard that. We heard the one of the main parts.
I don't want to play the music too much, then you get the copyright.
Oh, yeah, true, yeah. The Chinese will come after us, man.
So yeah, beautiful. It's the full deck. You can play all 4 turtles, and it's amazing. It's just amazing.
It's a thing of beauty, man.
Yeah, I just can't believe it. I mean, it's making dreams happen. This company, this is crazy. I would have never thought of my life. You know what I mean? Like if you think of those type of things.
Yeah, like mini arcades like that.
I mean, we've all seen the ones for your desk and stuff, but I never thought, a 3/4 one that they call them.
Yeah. Anyway, man, we got a lot of stuff. Stuff happened this week, people. Stuff happened. No filler this week. It's all big ass news, man. So let's get started with the first one. Yeah. Well, this week, this past week. Actually, before we even start, I do want to quickly apologize to our YouTube guys because at Comic-Con, I got you those episodes a little bit late, so apologies for that. And as always, the MP3 guys didn't know a damn thing happened. They got everything just fine, It's interesting how that works. Anyway, PlayStation 5, man. So Sony officially announced it. They didn't show it. They didn't, physically didn't show it or anything, but they announced the system. They said it's coming holiday 2020 as we pretty much predicted on here. There was some interesting stuff about it, about how the controller specifically, about how it's going to have haptic feedback, and some other features. So, Chris, I had you do some digging on this. What would you find out about the PlayStation 5?
I dug into Ybarra and
we'll talk about that. We will talk about that.
Yeah, I didn't really dig into PS5.
I mean, there's not really much to think about. It's like, yeah, we got the controller. Backwards compatibility. That's already coming. Everybody knew that. We don't have a price point yet. Obviously, if it's up to our Chinese friends, it's probably gonna be $800.
Holiday 2020.
Yeah.
All I know is there was some vagary between this and Scarlet, because Scarlet had the specs for the CPU and stuff, but the CPU in the PS5 just says AMD Ryzen 2 or Zen 2 Ryzen. It doesn't say the speed. Scarlet said it is going to have 16 gigs of RAM. This didn't have a RAM specification. The SSD size we don't know.
Yeah, this thing's gonna have ray tracing. Everybody's
it's just
saying
weird. It's just weird how they announced this. It's like, this is what
we'll talk about that in a bit. I just want to get some of the spec stuff out of the way. So yeah, it's gonna have ray tracing, it's gonna have lighting and sound effects in 3D. I'm just reading this off of the Wired thing. It's kind of interesting because ray tracing is something we've kind of talked about in the past, but now it's becoming like a big thing.
Now they're putting it onto a board because essentially software ray tracing is a resource hog. So what they're doing is they're literally putting in something there that has to do it, because in order to do ray tracing, it needs to take a lot of samples. Essentially what it does is it throws out essentially a certain amount of rays in order to create the idea of bounce light and also sunlight or any other lighting.
Yeah, and then, just like before, because remember, they did talk about the PlayStation 5 earlier this year. By the way, they were like, oh, our next-gen system, as if it wasn't going to be called the PlayStation 5,
Mm-hmm.
They talked about the
They've officially named it now.
Yeah, they talked about the SSD, so they brought that back up again, how, basically, if you have a game that takes 8 seconds to load, it'll be 1.0 something seconds or even less. I said it's 0.8 seconds, something like that. Mm-hmm. It says it spins 5,400 RPM, like a vinyl record. Okay, that's kind of interesting. But yeah, it's we got. Go ahead.
Didn't they also? I don't know if this was the same Wired article, but about the whole installing parts of games now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're basically now here. I want to ask you guys about this, because didn't they say the PlayStation 4 was supposed to do this?
Well, in certain games, on certain titles, it can do that.
Yeah,
where you can install a portion of it and then you can play it.
So why is this such a big deal? If
because of the SSD,
is that what it is? Because I'm like,
because we talked about it. Yeah. We talked about it before, though. It's like, if you're gonna have this SSD, how big is that gonna be? Because we have our games. These games is 50 gigs, 50, 60 gigs.
Yeah,
and SSD is gonna fill up real fast. So they have to take some of it to install, especially if they're still gonna go disk based. So it's all right. So let's say you get the disc version, it's going to have to do this on the fly or something quick where it just grabs whatever the first part of the game and starts playing it. And then as you progress behind the scenes, it's deleting and installing, cycling it out through the SSD to try to speed up that load.
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to bring up, it's going to have native 4K Blu-ray player right at the box, unlike the PlayStation 4 Pro, and all the games are going to be on 100 gig optical discs. So that's still going on with this stuff.
That's pricey, man.
Did the spec go up to 8K display output for movies and stuff?
They said that originally. Remember they said
in general it's going to be able to do 8K output. I don't know. Yes, as far as native, I don't know. I guess that's to be determined. But yeah, it'll definitely support 8K.
I'm looking at it now, and it says that the chipset does support 8K and 128 hertz refresh rates.
No, that's pretty good.
But by the way, this was obvious, I think, to all of us. But just for those that speculated that this generation wasn't going to have any discs, that's not going to happen this generation.
That's not going to happen.
But you know what? This might force people. I don't know why, man. When I saw that the new discs that they want to use, those shits are expensive. There's going to be some kind of thing where they say, hey, you want the disc version? Maybe that's where it becomes more pricey. If you want to get disc, and then if you want to go digital, it'll be the price that you pay now.
Yeah,
but they're going to have to charge extra for those discs. That's not cheap.
Yeah, that's also true. I want to ask you guys about the controller, the haptic feedback. Apparently, Xbox already has this, so it does it? I've never noticed it.
It does it for the triggers, for the shooting.
It's in the buttons,
Yeah, what it does is it takes the rumble, how we know the rumble to be just centered, and it breaks them up, and it's just one on each trigger. So then that way you get that feel when you're actually shooting with the right trigger, and you feel it, and you can pressure. It's all pressure sensitive. So if you tap a little bit, you'll just feel light bursts. And if you hold it down, it gets stronger, the vibration.
Yeah, it's I took apart an Xbox One controller, and there's two gyros in each of the handles that spin, and they spin at different speeds to give you that feedback and the vibration.
Yeah, my question is, are they going to change the name of the controller to the Haptic Shock 4 or something? Haptic Shock 5?
It's just probably going to just be the
DualShock
same
5,
name.
DualShock 5.
Will it have swappable batteries?
They haven't.
They just said it's larger battery. They didn't say you could remove it.
Yeah, they didn't say anything about it having
Really
it lasts longer.
Go ahead.
Because there's also
I
there's also Also, the other portion of the controller is it has a it also has a tension for some of the trigger buttons. So in other words, like if you're pulling a bow or if you're maybe pressing the gas on a car, it adjusts itself to be harder or softer depending on whatever the programmers decide that they want to do with it.
Check it out. This is interesting. So the controller is going to have a USB Type C connector. You could obviously play it with the with the cable plugged in, and the controller. Check this out. It's going to be heavier than a DualShock 4, but lighter than a current Xbox controller.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. I'm going to assume the design is going to be the same. Sony doesn't really mess around too much anymore. It'll be probably something similar.
It's probably going to be the similar design. I mean, a lot of people seem to like that last DualShock. So
yeah.
Will they keep the trackpad?
Well,
yeah, the
what about that touch screen?
The
touch panel.
They also
take that shit out.
Yeah, they didn't say that, but they did say the battery life was going to last longer. An hour could be longer. You know what I'm saying?
Take the touchpad out or make it smaller and get rid of the light shit, that light bar, or at least the option to turn it off.
I don't think they're going to get rid of the light bar because it supports PlayStation VR.
But that's what I'm saying. Or at least give the option to turn it off.
Turn it completely off.
Yeah. Brian, what were you gonna say, man?
No, I was about to say to sort of have the the light thing, but yeah.
Just
here's the thing. If the thing is backwards compatible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They confirmed it again that it is.
There are a few games that use that touchpad as is.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There's a good chance it might still be there.
Yeah, that's
a lot of games. There's a lot of games. But then you also use it as a map. I mean, even in the new ones, almost every game, if you tap in on that thing, it brings up the map.
Yeah,
as opposed to
and then Manny, on that same boat, you're still gonna have to have the motion controls as well. Because some games use those.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have that too. So.
Yeah, so they can't go too crazy with the controller design.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Chris, I just remembered what I wanted you to talk about with this. The timing of this is kind of suspect after Sean Layden. So I just want to know what your thoughts on that. Do you think? Because I think it had something to do with it personally. I think they were like, "Yo, listen, we getting too much flack with the Sean Layden shit. Release this, put it out there. No one's talking about Sean Layden anymore." So what do you think?
They're talking about.
I mean, only in terms of
yeah.
Well, in terms of his exit, nobody's really talking about it. I mean. They didn't even let him make a statement. I read when we were talking earlier about Mike Ybarra, I read his exit, note. I read the note that Microsoft put out. It's very pleasant. They let him put out a note with Sean Layden. That note read like he got fired.
Yeah,
that's what it seemed like to me. Like when they say, "We wish you the best in your future endeavors," that is like. That's a firing. That's not that he would have put out a statement just like Reggie and just like Mike Ybarra saying, my 32 years at Sony has been so great. On to the next adventure, or I'm retiring. Nothing. He didn't say anything.
Yeah, he still hasn't said anything.
He still hasn't said anything.
So yeah, it leads me to believe I think that, they just because it's a weird thing. It's like you're gonna announce the system without showing it. Sony doesn't really do that. They usually announce it when they show it. By the way, I still predict it's going to be probably in February, March that they're going to actually reveal the damn thing. But yeah, it's weird. I'm like, this is some odd ass timing. I wish Brad was here. Him and I would talk about it. He was actually the only one of us that said they're going to announce it this year. The rest of us were like, you're fucking crazy. So he kind of
we thought they were definitely going to announce it this year.
Not me.
Yeah.
Not me.
I didn't think they were going to. I mean, I thought
this year.
I knew they weren't going to release it this year, but I definitely saw it as a 2020 release.
Yeah, no, but none of us really said they were going to announce it this year. That's a different thing. We all thought it was 2020, But yeah, the timing is kind of interesting. But yeah, that did suck the air out of the whole Sean Layden conspiracy theory shit, Yeah. But again, it's interesting that, we're getting this, but at the same time, didn't give us enough. As far as I'm concerned, I'm like, I wish we could have given us a little more, but I guess we'll find out more during the actual reveal later on.
I feel like this was all rushed. Everything felt rushed. There was no need for it. And I think it was maybe he was supposed to do a video package or do some kind of thing. And then they scrapped it and he just got fired. And he said, fuck it, we'll just do a little, we'll call one of our partners when they call the partners. All right, here, this is what we're giving you. Release this. But it's just odd.
I still think it's because it's like, oh man, everybody's talking about this Sean Layden shit. Just put this out
there. Well, then that's one part if you want to go there. But what about the mass layoffs that they have over on the PlayStation?
Let's talk about that. Adam, tell us about this. I just found out about this today. Yeah,
they just did it over in the UK. They had most of the people that are out there in that office, PlayStation EU, had to go through a re-interview process for their position, and a lot of them got released. And they said that the people that did the review process were people that were from PlayStation, the US version.
Yeah.
So that they went out there, and then maybe it's some kind of redundancy system where it's like, oh well, because same thing like what they do over here. It's like a lot of the marketing guys and accounting. It was like back end stuff, and a lot of those dudes were the ones that they let go.
Yeah, so they could be covering that up too, you know.
Yeah, like they knew. Listen, we're gonna be making waves. We're firing this guy. We got some big layoffs coming. We got to put something out positive. What can we spit out? Well, let's just spit out some news about the 5. Let's get people hyped and spread the buzz. But
yeah, it did go under the radar. Again, I didn't even find out about it until today. I'm like, oh shit! Like really? That seems like it would be big fucking news, you know. You know,
what the layoffs?
The firing. Yeah, anytime that shit happens in games, it's always big news. You know, but no one's talked about it. You know,
we don't know yet.
It was like 200, wasn't it?
Was it? Was it that many?
200. Damn,
that's a lot. Oh shit.
Let me see. Let me verify
because it happened early because UK time, so it happened for us early morning. For them, it was like midday, evening, or whatever when it happened.
It was in Europe, right?
Yeah.
There we go. Actually, the headline
UK is not part of Europe anymore.
Oh, okay, that's true. To me, it's all fucking the same shit. It's all the same shit.
Tomatoes.
Okay, it wasn't 200. It wasn't 200. Ooh, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, that would have been huge.
It was dozens. It was dozens, which is still not good. You know,
probably not good.
So yeah, that's still not good. I think I was thinking about who was the last company that laid off people? They laid off hundreds of people. We talked about it on the show before. Totally forgot who the fuck it was.
Oh, there's a bunch of companies done that, but yeah. I mean, that's always scary when you hear there's like, oh well, there's some people from one of our other offices over in the States, and they're here to re-interview us for our positions.
Oh, so is this interesting? I'm reading this from Android Central. The headline says, Sony Interactive Entertainment Europe reportedly hits with layoffs, which took place alongside of PS5 news. That's right. It went right under.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. It could be that. It could be that. It did that to cover this shit up.
Yeah. So we all agree that timing was kind of suspect, right? On this PlayStation 5 news.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. And normally, I mean, even an announcement like this, they have like an event for it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Then again, it's like it is just PlayStation 5 and a whole bunch of other stuff that we knew. The only things that we didn't really know was the adapt or the haptic feedback controller and that's it. I mean, the release date. I mean, it wasn't official, but we knew it was going to come out.
It had to come out sometime next year.
It's always a holiday of something, and we knew it was going to be next year.
Like think about it. What company would be crazy enough to release a system in the spring? Oh wait.
Nintendo.
That's right. You know, but Microsoft and Sony always release their shits in the fall. We knew it was coming because if it wasn't this year, it's going to be next year. You know, come on.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going with it. I think this news came out to cover up the firing shit. That's what I think happened. I'm going with it. I'm sticking with it, people. You know, all right, man.
Tinfoil hat.
Tinfoil. I'm going with it, man. Responsible gaming journalist. Any of the last thoughts on the PlayStation 5?
I think it's going to be expensive. If not the system, then the games. Just for those discs alone.
What's expensive for you?
The discs. The discs that
no. Like what price?
I smell a bet. I smell a bet.
I don't think they're going to go PS3 600. That I don't ever see that ever happening. But at $500, I could see the disc going to $60 to $70 if you want to go physical. And then they'll be reversible. Like, hey, digital will remain the same price, but physical.
Motherfuckers are going to lose their mind if those games are
$70,
cost man. You know, I'll tell you that right now.
It's all about how they put a spin on it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's it. It's all about how they put the spin. If they can justify it, as opposed to just if they come out and say, "Look at all this flashy games and this and this and that," and then bam, here's a price. People are gonna flip out. But if they go in depth and get real technical and boring, I was like, hey, look at this part, look at this technology. If even PCs today, if you go on the market, try to get this is high end. Let's try to keep putting in keywords there just so people can get the triggers in their heads. Like, wow, high end. Oh, that usually means more expensive. And then once you start talking about the discs, man, the discs that they're going to hold all this content, those discs are not cheap. So
it's going to be interesting, man. All right, man, let's move on. The other big news of the week is Mike Ybarra leaving Xbox. Very interesting. That's another thing we didn't see coming. But again, unlike Sean Layden, he actually got a proper send-off, He got a real send-off. So, Chris, go ahead, man. Tell us about this. What's going on with Mike Ybarra? Actually, hold on. I'm stopping the show. Hold on. Brett is in the house, people.
What's up? Thank you for the welcome.
We just finished the PlayStation 5 thing, but we're starting it back up again because you're here, bro. We left it off at we believe they announced the PlayStation 5 now because they wanted to cover up the fact that they laid off a bunch of employees over in Europe. That's what we think happened, but you have a different take on this.
I do. First take is I told you so.
Yeah.
I told you so. And I told you so. I said this was going to happen. Honestly, this seems like a better move. And here's my grand theory. And I was telling Tony earlier this week I think this is basically to adjust public perception for the inevitable bundle and fire sale that's going to happen this holiday season.
Prediction, people.
They're winding down their hardware sales, and they're not going to kill off the system, obviously, but they're trying to reduce a lot of the backlog and the stock and inventory that's out there. And a lot of the stuff that's already kind of still ramped up in production, so they're basically clearing house, right? And so if they did that after this holiday season, it was going to seem like they just pushed a bunch of PS4s out the door and then announced the new one, which tends to upset the fan base. So my theory is that they're doing this ahead of the holiday season so that they can do a lot of bundles and sales as kind of a last big hurrah for PlayStation 4, kind of cementing it as the cheaper option because it's not a full generation leap. Like PS4 will still be relevant for a couple of years, and that's how they'll push it as kind of the lower end budget for their 2-tier system. We've talked about them having for years. So this is just essentially them greasing the wheels for all that, in my opinion.
Yeah. What do you think about our theory that they only did this to cover up the fact that Sony laid off so many people? Because the timing just seems way fucking weird. It doesn't make any sense for them to do this now.
I take the same, and I'm not saying this is a conspiracy theory, but I take this with the same grain of salt that I take all conspiracy theories with, in that which is the simple, never attribute to malice what can be attributed to stupidity, that kind of thing. I don't think that a coordinated distraction by a company that big, I don't think any large group of people is that deft and smart, I guess is where I'm going with it.
It literally happened on the same day. It seems suspect to me. You know what I'm saying?
But that's a large coordinated effort from a group of people that have not shown the ability to really do that kind of large coordinated effort before as a company. I mean, that's a lot of people to keep quiet. That's a lot of parts to keep in motion. And if they announce it the same day, I mean, are you saying that they just kind of? I guess there is a possibility in the world that they went running and went, what can we say? What can we do? But
also the Sean Layden thing to shut people up. I think I told you about that too. It's like, yeah, just put that shit out there. Let's get everybody shut up about this crap.
Yeah, I mean,
because they didn't really give us anything
on the same day. That's such a quick response. Like if it were 2 weeks later, that I would expect that. Like time for Sony to go back and talk to their PR team and figure out, oh, this is a great way to do this. Let's knock this out of the news cycle. That kind of thing. I don't think that they were necessarily prepared for the house cleaning, even internally, that happened. Even though they knew they were going to do it, I don't think they had like a lot of notice that they were going to do it. So I don't think they would have had the time to get together, and no company moves that fast and that deftly. So that's my only issue with that idea that they're trying to. Besides layoffs in the video game industry, like, yeah, it kind of sucks, but who really cares?
No, I mean, dude, every time there's layoffs, it's like headlines everywhere. This is the only time I've seen layoffs where there were no headlines because everybody's focused on PlayStation 5.
There's headlines for a week and a half, and it ends up not mattering at all. And
I agree with you. Yeah,
their customers don't care. Their profit holder or their
But don't you find it weird that no news coverage there was barely any news coverage about layoffs, even though there always is? It's hilarious to me because everybody's talking about PlayStation 5.
Yes, but I don't think that coincidence implies causality in this point. I don't think that there's enough other things to link it together. Like, yes, the two happened at the same time. Yes, it's kind of convenient, but I feel like I need a third point to connect the dot, and the motive doesn't make sense. To blow this big of a news story on, essentially a fart in the wind to cover up a fart in the wind news story about some layoffs, it would just be a huge waste of resources too. Like that, it just doesn't make sense. What makes more sense to me if I'm using Occam's razor is that they figured that this is the best way to keep in the good graces of customers while still getting the most sales possible, because that's what a company does. And if I follow that road of logic, that's how I get to. I imagine they're just trying to push as much hardware as they can before the PS5 comes out, because they know if they just. I think they're trying to get around the idea of when they announce the PS4 or announce the PS5 that the PS4 dies, and the way they're doing that is still having it be they're announcing it before the big holiday season when PS4 is still a thing. That doesn't make it feel like yesterday's news got left behind in the dust.
Oh, but they're still going to be promoting PS4 when PS5 comes out. Sony has
and that's my point. Is that this whole thing is part of a bigger advertising campaign to time things to make the PS4 not feel like it's being phased out, and that seems like the simpler and more succinct answer to me. And Occam's razor is the simplest solution is usually the most correct. So it could be this big conspiracy with many moving parts and a lot of people keeping their mouths shut with impeccable timing and an insanely good pull off from a large number of people, or it could just be them blindly stumbling forward and doing what the focus group says is the best way to maintain brand loyalty. So I'm going to go with the latter because it's simpler.
Yeah. Chris, what do you think about that? Because you and I are kind of on the conspiracy theory train on this one. Like, yeah, they're covering something up.
Yeah, I'm a bit because there's just too many things that happen at once for me to think that this is just them. It's just business as usual. They're just doing things to okay, we got to think about the next hardware and stuff. I don't feel this PS5 announcement was worthy of announcing a new console. It felt rushed. Every bit of it felt rushed. I think Adam said earlier. I think he's right. I think Sean Layton was supposed to present something, pre-recorded a whole thing, kind of like Reggie used to do or whatever, and it's got scrapped. Whatever happened to him? Fine, they threw that shit out, and then they cobbled together something real fast. Hey, let's put out some news real fast to kind of bleed out the message. It doesn't have to be coordinated. It's just it felt rushed.
Yeah, but you think that news would be announced the next system? Like, I feel like it would be something else other than that's the biggest thing they have in their arsenal. Even just announcing it is going to make headlines.
Yeah,
just
but
like
remember,
they had to know that.
Yeah, they already did announce it earlier this year. They just didn't call it the PlayStation 5. Remember when we talked about the SSD and all that stuff? They already did announce it. So, but yeah, I agree. It's like this was an announcement, but it was also a non-announcement because aside from the controller, we didn't really get much information. It was kind of non-news. I'm with Adam. It's like it felt very rushed.
Yeah, it's not in their traditional way of releasing news.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very odd, very odd indeed. But we'll see. But Brett, you'll be proven right if the fucking PlayStation 4 price drops happen this year, Black Friday or something like that, man. Like they make.
Well, it's definitely going to drop Black Friday. We see them all the time with deals and bundles.
But if it sticks, though, that's how you know it's for real. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure. I could see that in January.
Yeah.
Once the new year starts, they were like, "Oh, remember those deals last month? For life."
For life. There you go. Go ahead, Carlos.
Yo, Brett.
Yes, sir.
PlayStation 5 is confirmed to come with a 4K Blu-ray drive.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, for that TV. Excuse me.
He's like,
oh, I'm waiting. It's gonna be glorious.
Like,
and
give me that
Carlos.
shit right now, man.
Carlos.
Oh,
Man, what do you want?
Yo, Carlos.
Oh,
This is something that we talked about before. $19 the toll for the Verentano. There you go.
God, excuse me.
Yeah,
I'm never gonna take that ever.
$19 toll. If you don't have the Easy Pass.
I'm planning on going to New York tomorrow, and I'm not gonna do that.
Easy Pass is $12.24.
I'm taking the ferry, even though I can't take my car. I'm taking the ferry. It's free.
Yeah, that's right.
Carlos is gonna rent a fucking helicopter and just parachute down, man.
not after the last time I fucking went to New York. Fucking a helicopter crashed on the building when I was there.
Oh,
I was right there.
The helicopters are always crashing. Hell, with the Shane McMahon, the Vince McMahon WWE, his helicopter crashed in the harbor.
Damn.
Yeah, he survived, but still, that shit went down.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go. Go ahead.
Just real quick, Shane McMahon probably just jumped out of that freaking thing, you know? Like, he jumps out of the fucking...
I'm sure there's a meme out there of him doing some dumb shit like that.
Anyway, let's move on. Brett, I'm glad you're here because we also got to talk about this fucking Blizzard shit, bro. Damn. Anyway.
Blizzard done fucked up. Oh, you fucked up, son.
Yeah, we'll get into that. And, for you sensitive people, we will be talking shit about communists tonight. So get ready.
What? Anyway. Prepare yourself. Yeah.
Anyway, Mike Ybarra, man, what's going on with him?
Well, he announced his departure from Xbox. He's been there 19 years.
Yeah.
He started as a system engineer, worked on Xbox Live and a lot of core systems. He went to Windows for a little while, then he got a bunch of bumps up to in the Xbox department. He was like a director or something. Then eventually, he got promoted to corporate VP in charge of really live services, Xbox Live and all that stuff. And he's been doing that for a few years now. I mulled over, like, okay, I read his statement. I read and he's like, oh, I'm on to the next adventure, which means he's going somewhere, right? Nobody knows where. And I read a bunch of articles. I went all over the place. I think the most detailed one I saw was on GameIndustry.biz. Had one. The Hollywood Reporter had one too, which I thought was weird. I didn't think they talked about gaming. But when I read what he said and the stuff they were talking about, it came to me. I'm like, all right, who would recruit this man out of Microsoft?
Uh-oh.
Like, who has a need for somebody with the expertise in like Xbox Live and online services and things like that? So I came up with, I had a main one.
Sorry.
Hat on. I have one contender, and then I'll list three, but I think my first choice is probably where he's going. And so I thought, like, okay, there's a possibility that Sony could have recruited him, but then I was like, nah, that doesn't seem likely. So I kind of tossed that aside. Then I was like, maybe Apple recruited him. I'm like, they got the resources. They're trying to push Apple Arcade, and they're trying to get credibility at a time when, I mean, for PC and console gamers, we kind of look down on mobile. They're trying to gain credibility. So getting somebody like Mike Ybarra in there to promote Apple Arcade and do the kind of stuff he did for Xbox Live, that'd be big for them. But I was like, I don't see him moving over into mobile space, even if they offered him a bigger position. I'm thinking he was probably getting paid well at Microsoft. So I'm like, is it really a money thing? Maybe he couldn't move up the ladder anymore at Microsoft. He was corporate VP, but he wasn't a C-level or E-level executive. So maybe he was looking to move up, and then he was kind of hit the ceiling. And he's like, maybe I'll move somewhere else. Apple's not going to give him that kind of role. So then I was like, that's unlikely. And then I thought someone else recruited him. And who was looking to get into the gaming space and compete directly with consoles and online services, especially cloud services?
Atari.
Oh, Google, man.
Google, man.
The Stadia.
Son? You mean the former president of Atari?
There you go. See, I'm telling
Mr. Phil Harrison.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But with Stadia looking to come into the industry and also get credibility, what do? You build and you kind of recruit from people who have put in a lot of effort into like online services and gaming as people with a lot of credibility. So recruiting someone like him for Google would be big to have him come out on stage to promote Stadia and talk about their services. It has a lot more clout than some guy from Google saying, "Oh, we're getting into gaming." People are like, yeah, that's nice.
Also, it's kind of people in the Stadia camp are a lot of them are people from the gaming industry. You have Jade Raymond, and then you have Phil Harrison himself.
Yeah. So I think that may be where he's going. Like I said, I'm speculating. I don't know for sure, but I think that is a good theory. I haven't seen any other article talk about where he might be going. They all just say, we don't know where Mike Ybarra is going, but nobody ventured a guess. So I'm venturing a guess. So if I'm right, you heard it here first. I think he's going to Stadia.
You heard it here first on Throwdown, man. It's going to be interesting. Adam, what are your thoughts on Mike Ybarra leaving? He's been Xbox forever, so.
Yeah, it's I mean, he's been there a long time. Like he said, 19 years, almost 20. This is time to go. There's only so far you can go up, and I'm sure maybe there was money involved. There's always money involved.
I heard
like,
somebody.
Hey, you ready? You want to come here? We'll give you a new position and buckets of money. All right, why not? Yeah. Time to move on.
Yeah, Chris, didn't you talk about how he potentially maybe hit the ceiling at Microsoft? He's like, all right, time to move on.
Yeah. He was a corporate VP, but like he's not at the level like Phil Spencer is. He's not even the level below that. So he's like just a VP. He's not at E level, like executive VP, and he's not at the C level where you're like CFO, CEO, all that stuff. Maybe that's what he was looking for. Maybe he just wasn't getting it there.
Yeah, well, he could find a bigger
everybody has a price.
Stadia,
Yeah,
everybody has a price.
Gonna be interesting. I don't really have any thoughts on this. It's just kind of the timing is kind of interesting to me. But seeing how Stadia is on the come up kind of makes sense. So I'm going with your theory on this one.
And when Chris mentioned the whole Apple, Sony, like all of these places, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they all grow within. Like most of their executives have been there for a while.
Yeah.
And like Google is the one that's like that makes sense because a lot of the top people on the Stadia are hired people from the last couple of years. It's not like they have a track record at Google. They just got them from other parts of the industry. So it makes perfect sense for this guy to land there. If he wants to get a position that's higher than the one that he already had.
But you don't think Sony would have picked him up for this? Especially since he knows the inner workings when it comes to the whole cloud system and how they're trying to get into that space.
I mean, maybe,
I don't know.
But, I think he may find that he has more room to grow at, Stadia. You know what I'm saying?
It might be the money. I'm telling you, money.
Yeah, money. Yeah, money talks.
Money talks. Money definitely. I mean, remember with console wars? It was money.
That's right.
Money would lure him away. They found him. He was on vacation with his family.
Yeah, that's right.
And they came. They didn't give a shit. They flew over there and like, yo, here's a bucket of money. Go, come on, let's go.
Yeah, Tom Kalinske is who he's talking about. People, it's interesting, man. All right, any last thoughts on this?
Nope.
All right. I moved this up the queue because we got to talk about this this whole Blizzard shit, man. So basically, let me read this right because they suspended a Hearthstone player. He was doing a contest.
He won.
Won
$10,000.
Yeah, and
he being interviewed.
Well, no, he really didn't. But
yeah,
they said they won $10,000.
Well, he didn't end up winning it.
Yeah,
no, he didn't get it. They took it away from him.
They took it away from him.
Let's back up. So basically, he won the contest, right? The tournament, and he made some pro Hong Kong statements. I believe he is
Revolution, free Hong Kong.
Man, as soon as that shit happened, was it Blizzard said that he violated some terms? That's all he said. He violated terms, and they pulled him off there. They took his money. And that's that. But we all know what the fuck's going on here.
No, wait, that's not even the big kicker.
Oh, what was the
big kicker? Is they fired the guy who interviewed him.
Yeah,
that's the other show.
They did. Yep.
And they made a public apology to China.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they bend the knee.
Yeah, so we all know what's going on here. So I'm just gonna let you. I'm gonna let you guys just go the fuck off now. We know what's going on here. You don't want to upset your paymasters. You know what I'm saying?
That's been happening. That's happening all over the place, man.
Something happened with Apple too this week. You know, the NBA.
You saw that with the NBA, with the Rockets. The manager
did
said
you see that
shit.
video from today? Okay, so
no, that was a few days ago. So the Rocket manager made some comment about
the general manager.
Yeah, general manager.
The Rocket man.
The Rocket man. Yeah, there you go. And poof, next you know, they made a statement. The government says, we're no longer going to be airing any of the Rocket games.
Well, it's not just that. What happens is the Lakers were playing in Beijing or wherever. They had a big event, and actually, I don't know, China put up like $1 billion or something for this event, like 2 games in China. So the timing of Maury's tweet was like they felt was bad, but hey, he could say whatever he wants, right?
Mm-hmm.
All he said was, I stand with Hong Kong, whatever. Yeah. And that set off a whole firestorm. They made him pull down the tweet. The owners were figuring out if they should fire him. I'm like, this is bullshit.
It got real crazy, real messy.
Yeah. Like they made a public apology to China.
Another one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like a
so
bitch.
people are not happy about that. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, the thing I was referencing that happened today was like they, those 2 basketball players. They, this was in China or some Asian country. A CNN reporter asked a question about this. They took her mic. Yeah, in Japan. They took her fucking microphone right on camera. They took her microphone. No. Yeah. You can only ask about current events. Like this is a current event.
Or you can only ask about basketball.
What was
Like Jesus.
Also, not to mention the thing that happened with South Park as well. It all seems to be coalescing in the
they banned South Park, yeah.
Yeah, they banned South Park because they were talking about how essentially pointing out the obvious, like, hey, have you ever noticed how every single superhero thing or anything all seems to be correlated to China?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing. Like, number one, China is pretty much one of the big, like almost the biggest market. They could literally turn a failure into a success.
Mm-hmm. They did that with the World of Warcraft movie.
They do that with movies all the time.
So the thing is, it's like they're the biggest guys out there, and obviously the government probably telling people to do stuff. So it's like, that's what because they're essentially the biggest dog out there. Nobody wants to say anything.
What was that movie?
All that shit that's happening. All that shit that's happening with Hong Kong. That shit's gonna happen, no matter what. And the United States is not gonna step in, just like they did with Russia.
Do you guys remember that '80s movie where the Russians invaded and they were working with Cuba? Red Dawn. Remember they did the remake, and the villains were China, and they had to rewrite the whole shit after the fact.
That's right.
Because they said they were going to pull out and they were going to stop carrying Hollywood movies, the whole thing. So they can't even be seen as villains.
No, that's why you don't see any of that sort of stuff. The Asian, Chinese, especially mainland Chinese, like that's why if you watch the film The Martian, there was some serious stuff in the book about China in there, and it all got glossed over in the theatrical film.
Yeah, and then think about it, with like movies and stuff, like big Hollywood movies. There's always that one random Chinese person in there.
Oh yeah,
that's a star over there.
Or they'll get an alternate version of a film where they have a more Chinese-centric section of the film. Black Panther at some point takes place in China.
Wow.
So they're doing it. I think I said this on my tweet. It didn't, all they did was just use our own system against us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. I just find it. Yeah, you're right. It's like we have the communists using capitalism against us now.
Yeah, all they did was just literally they own most of the manufacturing on this planet.
Yeah,
they have more people than most countries here. They have over 1 billion people in that one country. So officially, every single person on this planet is a minority compared to them.
Yeah, them and the Indians,
And them in India. So what? Well, obviously, because they are making the most money, they're as petty as hell. Yeah, they're gonna go on everybody. They're gonna knock down everybody they can to make themselves look good. So
wait, I mean. This is a country where the president banned Winnie the Pooh because he was compared to Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. They banned that shit.
Yeah, so... I didn't
know that.
Yeah, he did.
Wait, hold on. Chris, say that again just to make it clear for everybody.
they've banned imagery and video, everything of Winnie the Pooh because President Z was compared to him. I don't know if by
it was
who,
in a video game, wasn't it? It was in the game.
Was it? I don't know if it was a game or animation or promotion, but he was compared. They called him Winnie the Pooh. He took as a personal slight. He banned it. The government of China banned Winnie the Pooh from the country.
Wow.
Yeah,
like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, they also, not to mention the whole their systematic racism with people of color.
Yeah,
where essentially they banned all all what they call urban culture because they saw it as something that was infecting their society.
Yeah, and then what they do with movie posters and stuff, with Star Wars.
Yeah, what they do with movie posters. Ever notice who's missing from the movie posters in China? Mr. John Boyega getting a little shrink on the Star Wars posters, or totally removed. Yeah. It's serious shit, man.
Yeah, it is, but nobody wants to talk about it because everybody gets money from China.
I'm going to say this.
Keep it real.
We talk about, a lot of people are talking about the Captain Marvel film. Now, why wouldn't they have chosen the Black Captain Marvel, the first female Black Captain Marvel? I'm going to tell you, it's probably because of China. And they're probably more accepting of a blonde-haired, blue-eyed a character than they are of a full black character.
Oh, there's no bite there. They love blonde-haired, blue-eyed characters. Yeah. It's. I can tell you from experience, having relatives who have gone over there. My sister is blonde hair and blue-eyed. When she went over there to learn, they would have her out for dinner, families who barely who didn't even know her, they knew, they had a vague relation to the host family, and so they would then basically flex on the host family, and so basically be like, your boss hears that you're hosting a white girl, and so your boss invites you out to dinner, which is an opportunity you haven't gotten. As long as you bring the blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl, so that they can be seen in public with a blonde-haired, blue-eyed American. It is a weird fetishistic thing. It goes way beyond the point of reason, to the point where all of us will be like, so what's the ultimate point there? They got to be seen eating dinner with a blonde-haired person.
It's like C-3PO with the Ewoks,
So it's something that obviously it's something that everybody, it's out there and people are just not talking about it. And now it just seems to happen that this week seems to be that one week that every single thing involving China seems to them essentially censoring Western culture and freedom of speech in one damn week.
Well, they're cracking down hard.
They are. But going back to the whole Blizzard thing, Blizzard hasn't been getting a lot of good news lately either, man. My joke is yo, what's BlizzCon gonna be like next time with this shit going on, bro? This is crazy.
Yo, people might come in wearing Free Hong Kong t-shirts.
Oh shit! By the way, go ahead, Brett.
I was just gonna say it's kind of cool how I know the gaming community bitches a lot. I like how they've basically turned to guerrilla warfare on this one, and they're using a lot of images of Mei from Overwatch in because she is Asian. I don't know if she's Chinese or not, but she's Asian, and so they're putting her in Free Hong Kong t-shirts and everything like that to basically flood the internet with the idea that she is pro Hong Kong, so that Blizzard has to remove her and cut into their own revenue.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
well, it's a beautiful idea.
Yeah. By the way, didn't some Blizzard employees walk out the other day?
There was walkouts.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of shit
today.
going on.
They did today.
There was.
I mean, they didn't quit. They just went out.
But one guy got fired. The guy who covered the plaque in front of Blizzard headquarters. Their corporate values are on the plaque. So he taped over him. He put paper over him.
Oh yeah.
They found out. They fired him.
Oh shit. By the way,
he was pissed,
Isaac says they've been turning Mei from Overwatch into a pro Hong Kong protester. She's Chinese, so that's the character Brett was talking about. Big Mike says hashtag free Hong Kong. Yeah, plaster that shit everywhere, man. I'm not.
But I mean, the thing is that as much as we say it all,
it's not going to do nothing. Yeah, it's not going to do nothing.
It's not going to do a damn thing.
No,
it's going to be. Yeah. It's going to be another friggin' what is that place? Tibet situation, right? It's the same sort of shit. everybody's going to be crying until their faces are blue, and the United States ain't going to do anything about that. They're going to let that shit happen like they did in Russia.
Well, more so. Like, here's the thing that bothers me. Like, I understand we have international companies and everything like that, but this Blizzard employee, like, let's break this down. He got fired for putting a piece of paper across the company values, which were already where they were. It was like a plaque, right? It was like a bronze plaque.
Yeah, it was a plaque. Yeah.
That's literally like emblazoned in metal. Right, like, so the company emblazoned this in metal, and he covered it up, and no act of vandalism, and that is actually about the softest and gentlest way of saying that you've abandoned your principles, right? Like, nothing about his delivery or what he did was wrong, and yet he was fired for sharing an opinion that strayed away from the mainstream. I mean, we have people getting fired in the video game industry that we get hot-headed about because, like, oh, this feels like sexism, or it feels like, racism or anything like that. Like, this is, we get so preoccupied with the little demons that we invent and the little injuries and barbs that we imagine that we're throwing at each other that right fucking in front of us, people are being silenced for having an opinion on how basic human decency should work, and we're just letting it fucking happen.
And let me just interject real quick. There's a lot of people in on the Twitterverse and everywhere that says, this company has a liberal bias. This company has a right-wing bias. These companies don't have, they have one bias, and that's the almighty dollar.
That's it. It's all about money.
Whatever. They will change to fit whatever thing, as long as if there's people buying it, they will not say a damn thing about it.
Mm-hmm.
All that silliness where they're like, "Oh, we'll fight for you," and all. No, well, they won't. Not. It's like, as long as this shit is making their money. If fucking Nazism started making fucking money, then they would do that shit too.
Yeah, everybody just cares about money. You're right.
I wonder how the guys who sell.
Damn! I feel like that was gonna be a good one.
That was gonna be the Chinese got him, man.
Damn shit.
Chinese got him. He was gonna drop some bombs right now, man.
Yeah, bro, you cut off if you did.
Oh, I said, I wonder how the guy who's.
The Chinese.
Man.
I'm convinced he's doing this on purpose. This is right at the fucking punchline.
Did they cut me again?
Yes,
they
did.
Okay, we're gonna try this one more time.
Oh shit! Okay, wait.
I told you.
This is a little bit weird.
Brett, are you outside? Are you with the crickets? The crickets are fucking. They're
Chinese spies, man.
Well, they really got him, son.
Brett has been silenced.
Brett got canceled.
Brett has been
said help.
You are using Google. They may be in bed with the Chinese overlords as well.
Dude, the crickets are listening.
Okay, Brett, say it now. I think you're good.
I just said, I wonder how the guy who sells tiki torches feels about this whole situation.
Oh shit!
Oh man.
So this whole situation is just brings to light something that's already been there.
No. I actually want to point out, I'm pretty sure the people who were selling those tiki torches made a comment that they don't support the uses that people are buying their tiki torches for, which means that they have more morality than Blizzard. Let's just put that into the people who supply the torches for Nazis have more morality than Blizzard.
Well, by the way, I'm sure those tiki torches were also made in China too.
They probably were.
Yeah, I was explaining some of this to my daughter, and she's 8, and now she sees it everywhere. She was like, "Oh, guess what? That new shirt that Mimi got me, it says made in China." You're right. She's seeing it everywhere, and I'm like, "Yeah, this is why it's a big deal."
We don't thing about our at least the Western world is we kind of don't make anything anymore.
No, we don't.
We didn't even make American flags. American flags are made in China.
And even some American flags are made in China. The other ones, the ones that are really expensive that nobody buys, are the ones that are made in the States. Expensive.
Yeah, there are like things that are made in the States are luxury items.
Yeah, they are. We
There's
used to make all our shit back in the day. Not anymore.
even then, like the flag that's probably made in the United States, who's to say that all the parts weren't manufactured to make the flag? You know, it was sewn or whatever in China and this assembled in the United States.
Oh yeah,
like a lot of the way some consoles are done.
Apple's notorious for this. They have their thing is design in California. Yeah, design in California, but where the hell is this shit assembled?
Exactly. Yeah, where's the where the parts come
they
from?
made it in China.
I mean, to be fair though, like that's not necessarily a bad thing entirely. It's a sign that our economy is specialized and well educated, and that basic manufacturing jobs are not financially solvent. You generally see manufacturing jobs being brought out of countries with very poor economic value. So to a certain extent, we've outgrown that. That could change. We could produce our own stuff. We'd have to rebuild some infrastructure, but if you look at a lot of countries, they've actually go through an early manufacturing phase, and they tend towards more a service-oriented phase, and they tend to more towards specialists. We train a lot of computer specialists. We train a lot of healthcare specialists, a lot of doctors, and
but not everyone can get in that field. I mean, we see that with the big Ford strike.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, manufacturing is going out the window. We still do lead the world in a lot of specialized training. Along with a lot of first world countries in Europe, kind of thing. So yes, loss of manufacturing is not great, in the sense that it leaves us vulnerable, but it's not necessarily a sign that like our whole country is moving backwards, because we could throw a bunch of people in factories if we weren't teaching them how to write apps.
It's the reliance on these other countries. That's kind of my point.
It's just another feather in their cap that they have. It's like they have all these different things. So it's like where does it stop? So it's like, okay, so now our chief export, which is entertainment, now even that is affected.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Right? That's right. Yeah. It's interesting, man. So yeah, I don't expect this to blow over anytime soon.
I don't think it's going to blow over, and there's no answer, there's no solution to this, because it's already so ingrained in our society.
Well, I think it keeps getting worse. Like for Blizzard, I heard that they changed the terms of service now, where you can't delete your account. Mm-hmm. People were deleting their WoW accounts, whatever, their Blizzard accounts. They're like, fuck this shit. So they changed the terms of service. Now you can't delete your payment information.
I mean, Blizzard has become an evil company. Like, okay. I don't think.
This is what GZDR said about that real quick. Blizzard is stopping people from deleting their accounts. They are making them submit a government ID to prove it is them who want their account deleted. That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's bullshit.
And this happened ever since fucking they messed with my Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
I've been telling you, man. This is some fucked up shit. By the way, remember that BlizzCon they had last year, whatever it was, and the guy's like, "What? You don't like what game was it?
Don't you have phones?
He said, don't you have phones and tablets? We all have phones.
Diablo, yeah, it was for Diablo Mobile.
So it's like someone posted a meme, it's like with the same guy, it's like, hey, with the little captions like, "Hey, don't you guys like communism?"
Yeah, you know who has phones? China.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is true. No,
this is coming from somebody who, like, I loved Warcraft, original RTS Warcraft, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, World of Warcraft, StarCraft. Like, I'm as a big fan of Blizzard since way back in the day.
Back in the day.
I'd just like to say that they can fuck themselves with a rusty railroad spike.
Oh shit!
Sideways. They're not the same company. They haven't been the same company in a while. They devolved into a...
Well, ever since Activision got them.
Yeah, ever since the acquisition merger.
Yeah. I find myself wishing for the death of Blizzard, like a loved one turned into a zombie needs put down. Like, it's just not them. It's just not them anymore. They just need put down.
I'm going to ask this question: how many of the original staffers of Blizzard are even still left? I would say that pretty much every single person who actually made Blizzard what it was is gone.
You might be right.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that. Like, it's in every sense not the same company.
No, it's not.
So I mean, even just down to like releasing WoW Classic. Like, I get that it's an asked for thing. It should be just included with everybody that's fucking paid for your subscription for years on fucking end. And it's a last ditch move when you're clearly out of ideas. Here's an idea: Warcraft 2. Reboot the whole thing, repull the whole fucking engine, build it from the ground up, brand fucking spanking new. And give some kind of bonus to the people who have been loyal and who've been subscribing forever and paying you $15 a month. But they know that model is dead. I guarantee you, and I forget what percentage it was, but there's a strikingly high percentage of World of Warcraft subscribers that are just dead accounts. And Blizzard knows this, and every month they keep quietly charging them. They never send them an email, they never send a reminder, they never send them anything. They just let it sit there. I've had it happen. It'd be like, wait, is fucking Warcraft still pulling from my account? I thought I canceled that shit.
Wow.
They've been drawing for like 6 months. Like, the whole system is set up to just be like, yeah, just come in, try it, forget about it, and then we'll just leech $15 out of your bank account without saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
So they've just turned into a parasitic company, and it makes me sad. Like, this right here, honestly, is the last straw when they blatantly say, we don't have morality, we just care about money. I understand that China is a huge customer base, but you can't silence people if this wasn't going on in China, was it?
Nope.
No. It's happening here somewhere.
Yeah, it was happening here,
yeah. So since when the fuck does China get to decide what we do here?
Man, ever since they fucking own us, that's
it. When they start giving money,
how much money do we owe those motherfuckers, man? Like, that's
what I'm saying. Like, and I'm not even like usually like blah 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 patriotism, blah 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 nationalism, but fucking come on.
Yeah, dude.
You don't let the blatant fascist ideology of a foreign power color the way we change our day-to-day activities and the way that we treat our citizens at home. You've crossed a fucking line.
Yeah. Again, it's just crazy how it's like, these communists are using capitalism against us. That's exactly what's going on. It's fucking insane.
Well, of course, and that's the thing that baffles me. Like, if you don't put safeguards in place, of course they are.
Yeah.
They're a whole country that's one company. They have the most money. It's pretty fucking simple.
Oh, man, it's sad. It's sad what's happening, man.
It's not what's happening. It's already happening.
I'm just gonna say this, man. I'm gonna say it. Nikita Khrushchev, right? He said this in the 50s. Like, listen, it's gonna happen slowly but surely. The whole world's gonna turn communist. And China's already letting it happen, man. Oh my god!
I mean, the thing is that, like, here's the thing: China's not trying to turn everything communist. They're just trying to pull. They're not.
He said communism will win in the end.
They're trying to control the narrative of their country outside of their country.
Control the narrative. That's what it really is.
That's it.
Yeah. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about whatever politics or whatever things that we have. Just as long as you don't talk about them. In other words, keep my name out your mouth. In other words, keep my name out your mouth. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll slap your ass.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, when Throwdown gets canceled, you know what happened.
That's what I mean. That's
fucking China comes after us, bro.
And again, it's like, and all of this could have, it's always a domino effect. It's always like you could see the beginnings of this when it started to creep into things like, oh, wait a minute, China's opened up their financials to Western culture. Oh, wait, now what are they doing? Oh, they bought a bunch of buildings. Oh, they own this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because they can own companies here in the States, but it doesn't work the other way around.
Nope.
We can't buy anything over there. Any companies that are active over there. That's like a big no-no. They can't sell.
No.
Just go out of business then if it's getting to that point.
They can totally own land over here.
Yeah.
They can buy buildings.
How many pieces of land aren't they buying all over the world right now? Aren't they buying a bunch of shit all around the world? Like in Africa, they're buying a bunch of stuff to like making artificial islands. Like, these guys are making moves, man.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, they even got with Apple with the whole Taiwan button flag.
That's right.
No, we'll take this shit out. No, we don't recognize it. We don't want that over here on our phones. All right.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take it out.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's move on. What the fuck are we? It's all about Google Stadia, baby. Okay. So when we talked about this, during the big reveal, right, Chris, you made a prediction because they said that this thing's gonna reduce or eliminate, input lag, right? And you said the only way you could really do this is if they could predict your button presses. Turns out that's exactly what they're going to be doing. It's going to be. That's exactly they said yep, it's going to be predicting your shit. So they said in like the next 2 years it's going to be even better than playing like even on a console. I think like this shit's going to be so good. I'm like, is that kind of like the win button a little bit if it's predicting?
Yeah, it plays itself.
Yeah, so Chris, what do you think about this? So Chris, by the way, you were wrong about Kingdom Hearts, but you were right about this.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was just being contrary, put on my tinfoil hat. That game, I ate some crow with that game, yeah. But this, yeah, I knew. I was like, there's no fucking way they could have that kind of quality streaming and reduced input lag without some kind of predictive algorithms to determine your inputs. And yeah, okay, they finally admitted it. So I knew it. I knew it, Google. I read you. I see you, motherfuckers. I'm gonna be right about Ybarra too. I'm waiting.
Oh shit.
So I mean, here's the thing. Like, it's kind of weird because it's almost like it's playing itself.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's it's very weird because.
Isn't it to trick you if there's a delay, then it'll fill in for you so that way the game doesn't break. So
yeah, it fills in, but it also makes multiple moves in terms of like, okay, if you have a lot of lag, what it would do is put out a bunch of options that you're likely to do, and then I guess when the input catches up, then it learns, and then it will narrow down those moves, and then just do what you would do.
It learns.
It learns, yeah.
The more contact it has with humans, the more it learns. Well, the thing is, it's like, hey, it plays itself. Soon it play you. I don't know. I don't know about all this, AI controlled video gaming. To be honest, it's like. So it's like fucking new RoboCop, right? It only thinks it makes RoboCop think. The way the stupid new RoboCop worked, right, is that whenever he would go into battle mode, the computer would just take over and make him think that he was doing all the things that he was doing.
Yeah. By the way, this is the statement from Google's. I'm not going to bother to pronounce this fucking man's name. Ultimately, we think in a year or two, we'll have games that are running faster and feel more responsive in the cloud than they do locally. That's pretty insane.
I don't know, man. Yeah. It's in other words, you hear what he says, feel.
Yeah.
It's not going to be real.
Yeah,
so you think you're doing it. So real. Yeah. So, Adam, just play Street Fighter on Stadia, man. You'll just pull off every move.
There you go. It's like I'll press down and then sort of get the Hadouken, and it just says, "Yo, we got you." We know.
Or you just press down and forward at once, and then it's like, "Oh, you did it."
Shit, that reminds me of the 3DS version. You just tap on the screen. Remember, there's this old one.
The
most tapping. I'm like, "Oh, look, I did it."
Adam,
did you really?
Yeah, Adam, you'll press down forward, and like you see the end credits. Like, oh, I beat the game. Oh shit!
That's I wouldn't be. Man, that's gonna be an extra features. Watch extra features. Hey, you want to beat the game? See the ending? You have no time to play this shit. Press this button. Boop.
Yo, I just realized they made a system for Hip Hop Gamer, man.
Yeah, it's already in easy mode.
Yo, I love you, hip hop, but I got to give you shit about that, bro. Oh
it's
my god. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, I really do not like the idea of that, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, you don't like the idea of Stadia either, though.
No, I think there isn't. They essentially their fix for lag is essentially throw some AI at it.
Yeah.
That's all it seems like it is.
Somebody should really test the limits of this input lag stuff. Like start fighting a boss and then act like you get distracted, and stop moving and get attacked, and see if the character still is moving and attacking them.
So he used to move or react to whatever's going on there.
Yeah.
Yo,
we'll find out soon.
By the way, Chris, Big Mike goes, "Yo, Chris, you good?"
I'm good, man. Just look at this. Like, my tinfoil hat was right. Look, I called this shit out. So,
when does this come out?
It's in the next month. Like it's coming close.
It's soon. Yeah.
Yo, by the way, Chris, when Mike Ybarra shows up as a Stadia executive, man, pin that shit. You know.
I will. When they launch this thing, if he comes out on stage to talk about Stadia, woo.
Yeah. By the way,
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we will talk about that.
We'll talk about that.
By the way, I did give him a shout out on Sunday, but I do want to give Big Mike and Danny from the Platform Podcast a quick shout out. They, thank you guys for filling in for me and Manny last week, which was very cool.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys.
And the reason I said is because Mike just said Hip Hop Gamer was on the Platform Podcast, and he was very proud of the fact that he used cheat codes for Sekiro.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's hip hop.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's just like it's a win for him. It's a win no matter what. Even if you cheated your ass off, he still wins.
He's the Eddie Guerrero of gaming.
Yeah, I mean, man.
I love hip hop, man. We saw this in Jest, man. I was about to say this is gonna be so fucked up. Like, he's the Carlos Mencia of gaming.
Well, the difference is that's the thing. People don't seem to be minded by it. No one really gives them any shit for it.
No, nobody cares. Yo, by the way, this is a little piece of my heart that still loves Carlos Mencia, man. I'm just saying.
Yo, man, he did a good job of retelling the jokes.
Yeah, he really did.
But what was that whole thing he said? It wasn't his fault that they put pressure on him to do it.
Whatever he said was bullshit. Get out of here.
Yeah, he was like, the network. They told me, they had help. They had hired guys to help him write.
What about your stand-up, then, motherfucker? Get out.
They knew it. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I've seen that video with Joe Rogan getting on stage and shit.
Oh, he got on his ass. Oh, man. Yeah. I remember I used to hate on Joe Rogan because of that. Now I like Joe Rogan. He does something. He does good interviews, man. Let's see, what else? Okay, so by the way, I threw this one in here for me and Chris. Doom Eternal is getting delayed to 2020.
Yes.
Now,
very sad.
Very sad. But I'm gonna keep it real right now. I'm gonna keep it real right now. When I heard this, I was like, wait, it was coming out in 2019? I had no idea. Because you didn't hear nothing about this game. Nothing. Been very quiet. Because remember, the first Doom, it was all over the fucking place. So I think this delay was always going to happen. But at the same time, this thing's going to be coming in a very heavy window next year. Everything's coming out in the fucking spring.
It's what is it? February? What was it?
Yeah, I think it's March. I believe it's coming out.
Yeah, March 20th. Yeah.
But
January, March.
Isn't Ghost of Tsushima dropping that fucking month? Like, there's a lot of shit dropping that month.
Have they given a friggin' date for that thing?
For Sekiro Tsushima, yeah.
Yeah, they did. Let me look it up just to make sure.
I swear, man, there's only like one bit of gameplay that we saw, and then that's it.
Yeah. By the way, you guys in the chat, let us know what games are dropping in the early part of next year. I know Final Fantasy Remake's coming out. A bunch of other shit's dropping.
Might surprise you guys.
So, Last of Us Part 2 is February 21st.
That's right, yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake is March 3rd. Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal launch on the same day on March 20th.
Shit.
Damn.
It's heavy.
Well, apparently there isn't a official release date on Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, there is. Oh, interesting.
I thought
I'm not seeing one. Yeah.
Sony claims that. Yeah, Sony claims that it's still a PS4 game, though.
Yeah, no. Well, now that we know PS5 coming out toward the end of next year, I mean, they can't wait that long.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. People are like, "Yo, there's a PS5 game now, right?" They're like, "Nope, it's still PS4."
Well, they're like, technically, it's a PS4 game.
Yeah, because you're gonna be able to play on both. That's true.
Yeah, it's gonna be a both thing. It's gonna be a Zelda situation.
Yeah, I agree with that. Should be very
well. I mean, they're all gonna be Zelda situations since they're backwards compatible.
Oh shit.
Well, no, I'm saying like that game is probably going to be coming pretty close to close to that window, whether it be like maybe a few months off or like that. I definitely think it's going to be one of those things. It's going to be like,
oh man. Yeah, that's going to do it for news. So let's talk about what games we have been playing lately. I'm going to go to my favorite, as always, Adam, because you always play like 50 games a week.
Play a lot of games. I'm still playing MCU 3. Over, am I saying it right? Yeah. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Yeah, I'm just still playing that. Hopefully, I think I'm almost done. I think I'm close to that. Then Ghostbusters remastered on Switch and on PS4. So double dipping, love that game. That's a fun one.
No, you bought both versions?
Well, they sent one for review. They sent me the PS4 one for review, okay. And then the Switch one I got because Ghostbusters got played on the go. $29 across all platforms, not too bad. A lot of these remasters are charging fucking $50, $60. Some of them. We all know about the whole LA Noire shit. Remember?
No, that one is probably easier to get the platinum in because there's no online trophies in that one.
That's right.
Not yet, at least. I mean, that's the thing. The multiplayer is coming.
The multiplayer is coming, but there were mandatory in the original Ghostbusters game. There were mandatory online trophies. Yep.
All right, so I'll check that out because on the PS4 one, I'm like halfway through. So
the thing you got to do though is you got to make sure you drink out of all the water fountains.
Oh fuck!
Was there an extra for that?
Yeah, there was a trophy. You drink from all the water fountains, and I think one of them was I think you listen to everything Vigo needs to say.
Yeah, I did the Vigo one. Nothing popped.
You have to also get all the artifacts, right?
Well, that's the collectible stuff. Yeah,
the collectible stuff. Yeah,
that makes sense. And I found some of the water fountains, but the Vigo one is funny. There's he says a lot of shit, and that's what I was waiting for, but it didn't happen. I could have swore something popped on that one too because I finished it on the Xbox 360.
Yeah, I did too.
So I'll be playing that. Bro Point. That's what I'm going to call it.
Bro
Point. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's going to be a big one because I'm doing a review for the Coalition, and I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be real honest because, a lot of people know that I loved Wildlands. I got the platinum. I put in like 200-something hours in that shit. And I just can't see that happening here, but I'm going to give the reasons why. I'm not just going to say this shit's booty and move on. So it's going to be lengthy. It's going to be pretty sad.
Well, you got me playing Wildlands, and I didn't even want to touch this game.
You see, there you go. That's what I'm saying. Well, this one, yeah, you'll notice the difference instantly. That's the problem.
You made me play your Gears 5 and you let me hanging.
No, you don't like Gears. You should have told me the truth. So that's it. Playing Gears, right? I'm also playing Gears, but only on Saturdays because of my buddy's schedule. So we're still gonna go through that. Still playing that 99 game, like Vidas. I think that's what it is. Vidas.
Never heard of it.
That's the one that
You're making up games now.
No, there you go. Black Metal Gamer recommended. That's a good beat 'em up game. So we're doing that. Of course, Ninja Turtles. Playing Ninja Turtles on that one.
Pizza Power.
Yeah, Pizza Power. And Turtles in Time, playing that. And there was something else that I was playing. Don't remember. But next week is coming to Division. We got to get back on the Division. We've got that new content coming on the 15th.
Okay, yeah, I'll jump back on it.
The Pentagon. They're getting the Pentagon. This is
more
all part of season 1. It's all part of season 1. So it's not a raid. This is just additional content, new story type stuff. Because we did one and it was kind of short. Remember that one that we did? It was like 2 sides of I think it was a college or something like that.
Yeah.
We flew over there. We banged that out quick. So hopefully there's a little more meat on the bones for this one.
I'll join you too, man.
Nice.
I get back.
It'll be more fun than Broke Point.
Yep, and Broke Point. Damn, there was something else. What was it?
Probably something on your Switch. You haven't mentioned your Switch yet.
Well, that was it. No, MCU 3. That was on the Switch, and the 99 is on Switch. And Ghostbusters on Switch.
What you mean MUA?
There you go. I knew I was saying shit. Yeah, Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
MCU is
Say, I'm thinking of movies. Fucking movies. Yeah, but there was something else. But
all right, we could come
for the most part, that's pretty much it. That's all the stuff. Oh yeah, and Street Fighter.
There you go.
Street Fighter, and then Street Fighter on the PC because I got this stick here.
That's right, my old fight stick.
I'm playing here. Nice. And then that's it. Because I got this. Oh, that's what I was gonna bring up because it doesn't work.
Shit up, man.
So I got this adapter. And this adapter supposedly lets you take any Xbox 360 controller and plug this into your PS4 and it'll see it. Right? And you just got to load the proper firmware. You go on the website. Supposedly it had a bunch preloaded in here. I plugged it in. It didn't work. And went to the website. I got the tournament edition. It knows it's Mad Cats. It does the whole thing. And it just didn't work. And it's upsetting because I saw a bunch of videos and people were like, yeah, this is great. They were testifying that this is an awesome converter and it worked. And it didn't work for me. So there goes that.
Some bullshit, Mr. Davis.
That sucks, man.
They didn't testify right.
Yeah. Manny, you've been playing some Bloodstained, haven't you?
I've been playing some Bloodstained every evening after I finish my little work. I explore Bloodstained Castle. Well, I don't know what they call the castle. They never named it. We'll call it not Castlevania.
Yes.
So yeah, I've essentially explored about 65% of the castle right now. I'm gonna go into the desert area. I think I had a peek at Chris's trophies, and I think you're around the same location I am.
All right, cool, man.
You already fought the alchemist already.
Yeah, I beat him.
The guy. It's like you go into this. I just went into the secret. They call it Secret Laboratory 2.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah. I know where you are.
Supposedly get the invert ability, so now you can literally upside down.
Damn, Adam making all that noise.
Sorry, I was just moving a bag. That was weird.
Just flip the castle upside down and explore the rest of it. So that it's on now.
Oh shit, man! Are you like there's time now?
So I'm working on that game. So my docket right now, I'm gonna be able to finish Bloodstained before Death Stranding comes out. So what I'm gonna do is my original plan was to finish off Bloodstained, Control, and then go to Death Stranding. Now the new version of that, the revised version of that, is I'm gonna finish off Bloodstained, try to get the platinum on that, and then move on to Death Stranding.
And then go back to Control later, I guess.
Which, granted, here Control is a lot shorter.
It's 10 hours. It's 10 hours if you just want to beat the game.
I mean, I could, if I do manage to finish all of Bloodstained in that time, I could probably go into Control. But I kind of want to get everything out of Bloodstained.
Makes sense. Adam, what are you doing, man?
I'm just typing.
That's
it. Now you see that I'm typing.
Oh, man, you're typing with the fight stick, like.
Yeah, right. Like, what the fuck are you doing? That's crazy.
It's a mechanical keyboard. This shit's allowed.
Yeah. Brett, are you still playing Black Desert?
Nah, man, I'm playing Control.
Oh, what do you think? Oh, yeah, that's right. What do you think of it so far? Didn't you beat the game already?
No, I'm like pretty much at the last boss now.
Nice. So yeah, you said you changed your mind on it a little bit, right?
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
It's pretty.
The story is very surreal.
Yeah, like once you start getting her crazy powers, it gets really fun.
It is, and I'll be honest, I like the idea of the story. I don't like the execution.
Could have been better. I agree with that.
It's kind of ham-fisted, and the main character, like, they do not do a lot to make her likable or relatable or really anything notable.
No bad.
I mean, do you just think for somebody that can hurl shit around with them, they'd have a little? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you would think you could probably think, oh man, yeah, she'd be like, oh man, look at this, I'm doing this, but she kind of doesn't do that. She's just like, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah, well, no, it's and I'm not spoiling anything here. It's just all about like I came here from my brother. Like, bitch, you just hurled a filing cabinet through a half wall into a paramilitary like psionic trooper's face, murdering him on impact. They get to take a moment to like take it all in.
Yeah, you're right about that. She's never like in awe of her powers. Like when she first says, I'm like, okay, I have these powers now.
So I mean, the thing is that she never had that power, right? Like,
nope. Not really. Like she knew about the supernatural, but she didn't have any powers, and then she suddenly has them, and then she's like, yeah, I got powers now.
Like, yeah, this makes sense.
These powers.
Get powers.
I got these powers.
All right. Anything else?
Excellent world building. Poor narrative, I guess.
Yeah, that's a fair way of putting it. All right. Anything else?
Fun
bro?
game.
Yeah. Anything else, bro?
Nope, that's been it.
All right, Brian. Mr. Manjoma. Uh-oh. I think China got him, man. All right, Carlos, what have you been playing lately, sir?
Yo, Chris, what have you been playing, man?
Oh, damn! It's like that.
He did a hot potato.
All right, yeah, Chris, what you playing then, man? Damn.
I mean, still a little bit of Monster Hunter, and I recently got Ghostbusters, so both Chris and I have been playing it. Well, this is the first time she played it. I'm replaying it because I beat it on 360.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah, it's a fun game, and it had a good story.
The
Ghostbusters in it.
This is it. This is the last time.
This is the third movie.
Yeah. This is the last time you could ever see any of them. Even if they make another game based off of the new movie, it's still, I mean, Harold Ramis, this is it.
Yeah, don't bother with that other Ghostbusters movie. You know what I'm saying?
Don't bother with that other game either.
The game, how about that? The game that released for the movie wasn't even related to the movie. Didn't even have the cats. It had a whole other crew. It was a horrible game.
That's
horrible
crazy.
game.
It was terrible.
That's crazy. So yeah, I've been playing, like with Adam, I've been playing Broke Point, I don't know, man. Not feeling the rainbow, man. Not feeling the rainbow. My review will be up on geek.com, eventually, because it'll be up. It'll be up eventually. I'm being real right now, people, being real, forcing myself to play, man. Like I said, I enjoy playing. I enjoy playing with Adam and Richard, right? Richard Bailey. I enjoy playing with them. I don't enjoy the game. If that makes sense, like I enjoy their company while I play, but the actual game itself is like,
And for people to say, well, it came out 2 weeks ago. We're not slacking on it. They said that we can take time playing it. They want people to really dig into it to figure out if they like it and if they don't. And we don't. But
yeah, I heard it gets better, but I don't know, son. I don't know. So I'll get to it. You'll see my review eventually. But right now, I'm not feeling the rainbow, man. Okay, brother. Oh, you actually play some, Carlos?
Yeah, I forgot.
Excuse me.
I played a little bit of Cuphead on the Switch.
Cuphead.
Man, I'm like, let me give the undocked Switch with the Joy-Cons a shot.
Uh-oh.
Man, I fucking hate playing it with a fucking Joy-Con.
Yeah, Joy-Cons are trash.
Like, I immediately regret this decision.
Yeah, it was horrible, man. Like, it just doesn't feel right. Like, maybe it's just because, look,
it's not just you. It's not just you, bro.
Well, yeah, but it's just the overwhelming majority of people like this thing. And
it's not comfortable.
It's not comfortable. This shit, it pisses me off because most people like it. I'm like, why can't I fucking like this? I fucking prefer playing it on the Vita controllers. And Vita controllers aren't even that great either.
Yeah, but the way the Vita is, it just performs better in your hand than that big bulky Switch,
Yeah, it's
Carlos, you're too highly evolved, sir. That's why.
Remember, I stopped playing it until I got that 8-bit controller. It was all because of the controls. It just didn't feel comfortable, and I didn't feel like lugging a big controller. And then that 8-bit one, the SNES Pro 30, awesome controller.
Brett, I heard you down there, brother. What's up?
Brett, it's just you.
Yep.
Oh.
Damn, bro, you gonna let him talk shit like that, man?
Y'all to suck the dick of the Vita again. That thing was not ergonomically sound.
Wait, Brett.
It was. Get the
fuck Brett. I was.
No. You guys are having nostalgia wrong. Like, that thing had to be put in a special case before it was even handleable.
No, the box is better than the fucking Switch, bro. Switch is
the Vita.
Yeah, the Vita. Yes, the Vita.
The thing specifically built to give you hand cramps. Fuck
that.
It gives hand cramps, but it feels freaking Vita doesn't feel good. I mean, the Switch doesn't feel good from the jump. Vita, like it has a lot of issues, but at least for me, and I'm just speaking for myself, I can play a game for like half an hour and be fine and not even think about the controllers that much. With the Switch, I think about them as soon as I fucking start playing it.
See, these are two Vitas, right? And I had to get
Visual Aid God.
Right. Yeah, Visual Aid. So I had to get this attachment here that had the fat backs. See, it had some fat backs, so that way it felt like you were holding a DualShock.
You know what? It's funny. I bought those things and I immediately took them off. I'm like, I'd rather play this shit raw.
Oh no, this was the best one because on my other one, This one had wide-angled kickouts, and this one it was okay, but it just didn't feel right. I preferred the fat back one.
Yo, where's Riku, man? We gotta get that Vita love in here. But yeah, Switch, don't play that shit.
What do you mean we gotta get that Vita love in here? Like,
you have to, man. You have to, man. Vita for life, son.
Yeah, I just whipped out 2 of them.
Yeah, right, Adam. He's the boss right there.
You know, I owned a Vita, right?
I know you.
I owned a PSP before that. Like, I do know what I'm talking about.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I don't agree with what you're saying. That's all.
And and I mentioned at the top of this whole conversation, I am in the minority here,
except on Throwdown.
Yeah, except on Throwdown. Yeah, exactly.
I'm holding my Switch right now, and it is still way more comfortable with the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, man.
Now, speaking of that, do you think it's true about those rumors of the fat ones? Did you see those pictures of the Joy-Cons, but they're like fat or wider?
I don't know if that's true or not. We'll have to see about that. I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
Well, there was a small. I heard there was a small update that they did to those.
Yo, hold on. What's going on in the chat right now, man? I will let Tony explain what the fuck you're talking about in the chat, man. Carlos, read that shit and tell me what's going on. I don't have time to read that shit.
Read what?
All the shit that's going on in the chat. What's going on? Hold on. What the hell's going on in the chat?
Oh shit! What happened?
No, it's nothing big. Oh, Dana's in there. What's going on, Dana?
Yo, shout out to Dana.
Yeah, she was the hardest working person at Comic-Con this year, man. All right, I don't know. Something's going. You know, her and Mike. They do the WrestleCast along with
Clancy Brown.
Yeah. All right, so it's just you guys talking. I thought some shit was going on. Thank you, Dana, for joining us. And so yeah, I'm playing that Broke Point. I'm also playing, and I'm gonna have reviews for you guys. I'm gonna have a review for Concrete Genie, which is the latest exclusive from Sony. It's an interesting game. It's kind of like Flower with platforming elements because you go around the world, you paint shit. You know, kind of a cool little indie game. The last half of the game completely changes everything, which is kind of odd because like the first half you're like just chilling, you know, coloring the fucking town, and then the last half is like you get these crazy monsters and stuff. But it's cool. I mean, you know, what's up?
Yeah, that game took a while to come out. It by the way, that was like two PlayStation experiences ago, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I almost forgot about it, to be honest. When they dropped it, I'm like, oh shit, okay. But it's a pretty cool game. And then the game, man, I wish I could put more time into this shit. Indivisible, man, this game is fucking the shit. And I got to go back. So I've been playing Indivisible, build of it, ever since I've been a gaming journalist. That's how long this game's been in development, right? Now I think 505 Games eventually bought the game because it was originally a Kickstarter game or something like that. And it's basically, it reminds me of like old school Sega Saturn RPGs, you know, with the sprites and animation and all that. Fucking awesome, dude. Like, go play. Like, if you love hand-drawn shit, maybe that's some people who made Skullgirls, fucking awesome. You know, you got some platforming Metroidvania. You got it's turn-based, but it's like an ATB system where, like, you know, it's constantly keeps going and stuff. But you could pull off these crazy-ass combos in it. Really cool, like Southeastern Asian influence going on there. Really cool thing. If you're, like, again, artistic types, you're going to love this fucking game. Brett, check out Indivisible, bro. I'm telling you right now, man. And you know I don't recommend shit to you. Check this shit out.
Oh, I'm on it.
If you the demo has been on PlayStation 4 for a while.
Oh yeah, prototype. Forever, I played it. It was good. Yeah,
like Brett, your eyes will drool.
Like, see, that's what I love. That's what I want to hear.
Like, you know, yeah. Go ahead.
I just do have to also give a casual reminder to everybody that Outer Worlds drops in 2 weeks. No, don't let it sneak up on you.
Outer Worlds are because I get that confused with another one.
That's the one that's created by the guys who created the original Fallout.
Yeah. No, there's another
that's
game.
Outer Worlds. Yeah,
Outer Worlds. Yeah.
Maybe you're confusing it with Star Citizen.
No. It's another.
No, that's never coming out.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, the fucking release date of that shit is in Outer World, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's in November.
Yeah, it's November.
2027.
Outer Wilds is the game I keep confusing it for. I don't even think that shit's coming out. Is it Outer Wilds? That's a PlayStation exclusive, I believe. Let me look this shit up. No, it's not a PlayStation exclusive. Anyway, Outer Worlds, go check it out. But it's Indivisible. Brett, you know a game is good when the fucking walking animation, the looping animation, you're like, oh my god, that looks so fucking good.
You know? I am one of those people like, I want something that just bleeds cool. Yes. I want visual stylization. Like, I was more entertained by Into the Spider-Verse than I was by pretty much the special effects of just about all the other movies combined. Like, I just immediately I'm like, all right, my eyes are I'm this close to having a seizure, and I am all on board with it. So, fuck yeah.
To be fair though, special effects in modern movies are pretty fucking shitty. To be honest,
I mean, they are, but just even like something like Into the Spider-Verse, just the stylized characters and the world, just somebody walking down the street is generally more interesting visually speaking than the high point action scene of most big budget movies, not even just Avengers. So it's very easy to rack up those points when you put love and style into what you do. Like, I still, one of my visually favorite games is still to this day Jet Grind Radio.
Yeah, awesome game, man. Joker has we're not talking about Joker in here, bro.
That dude lost 50 pounds for that role.
Oh, Brian's here. Hey, Brian, what have you been playing lately, bro?
I think we can talk about Joker because somebody was having a Twitter conversation and he was recommended to watch Joker and he was like, okay, I'll check it out. Or was thinking about checking it out. Whereas some other people were saying to the same guy he should watch the Spider-Verse and he wasn't listening to those people.
People someone's about to get exposed!
Yeah. Wait, who's getting exposed right now? I'm about to expose myself. You're talking about that. By the way, you know how you guys are always giving me shit about how I didn't watch Spider-Verse?
We can't hear you, Tony.
Yeah, you can.
No, you've been
censored by China. You can't tell me what I can hear and what I can't hear.
There we go. Okay.
The boss of my ears.
I'm not muted. What are you talking about, man?
You were cutting in and out. You were cutting in and out.
Okay. So anyway, so you know how you guys are always giving me shit behind the scenes about how I haven't seen Spider-Verse? I had to hear that at Comic-Con for a fucking hour. Thanks to Danny Pena and George Jimenez. Like, they were just coming at me. And I'm like, you guys, like, you think you're going to be more victorious than my other fellas that I've known for years? Come on, son. Like, there's a reason they call me the Wall. It's like, you good luck. Oh, George, I love you. He pulled the wedding shit on me. He's like, yo, Tony, man, I invited you to my wedding. You don't want to see this movie, man? I'm like, fuck, you trying to get me with that? So I had.
Am I gonna have to invite you to my wedding?
Damn, it's like that, man.
Watch that movie, man.
Yeah. By the way, you know how you get me to watch this movie, right? If Manny invites me to his crib, you know the secret, right? Every time I go to Manny's house, even though he lives in Pelaway now, whatever movie he has on, I'm like, I'll watch it. Even if it's a movie, like for example, the first Planet, the remake of the Planet of the Apes movie, right? I refuse to watch. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not watching no more remakes. Manny put it on. I'm like, hey, this movie was actually good.
All right, next time I go to New York, Manny, I'm gonna rent an apartment under your name.
Oh damn!
That's how you get me to watch, because I don't watch movies at home. I'm like, I do that shit in the theater.
He's not. He will not. Here's the thing. He will not see something on his own if he's not going to see it. Background somewhere.
Yeah, it's in the background. What am I going to do? Turn it. I'm going to tell you to turn it off. It's your fucking house.
Yeah, turn off your own shit.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you that.
Don't go to somebody else's house and say, turn that shit off, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, he has it on. I'll keep watching it. Oh, you got food for me too? Let's go.
Tony, I'm smoking some wings. You want to come over and watch?
Brett, you're tempting me, man.
But here's the thing. Certain movies.
Oh, you're not going to get me to watch Joy Luck Club. That's not going to happen.
I know you're not going to Joy Luck Club. What? Like Blade Runner or 2001, that is not a movie that even I can pull off.
Yeah, that is true.
It's not a party movie. It doesn't work.
Gotta be very specific with the movies you show me,
I always, the way I do it is like, if it's a movie that's within your wheelhouse, put it on, just so happen to have it on. You will be like, okay. But I'm not gonna put on fucking The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, remember that one time we tried to watch Blade Runner? It was me, you, Omar, and Mike, and like
I didn't watch it.
Yeah,
I wasn't with
you went. So I was there with my boys, Mike and Omar. As soon as we didn't pay attention. As soon as the midgets showed up, we were done. We just joked.
That movie is not a movie. You need to kind of like push everybody aside and just watch that on your own, and think about it on your own. It's not a... Yeah,
look at these motherfuckers. He's trying to get me to watch Titans. I'm not watching that shit, man. I'm good.
Titans?
Yeah, the TV, the DC show, Titans.
Nah, fuck that.
Yeah, out of everything to try to convince Tony to watch, don't get some good shit, man.
How dare you compare my suggestion to fucking Titans?
Yeah,
I'm insulted.
Wait, what was your suggestion, Brett?
Spider-Verse.
Oh,
yeah, that's everyone's subject.
That was a great movie.
Well, Tony is probably going to see that crazy crossover they're doing with Brandon Ralph and
Nah, I'm not gonna watch that.
The Crisis on Infinite Earths.
I'm completely done with those CW shows. I'm done.
Good, man.
Arrowverse,
yeah. Because last year I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it. No, I don't care anymore. Don't care. I'm done.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, no,
I watch this season
last year. Manny, I'll tell you off air why I dropped them. There's a very specific.
Are you gonna watch Discovery or Picard?
No, fuck that shit. I don't care.
Oh.
I am not watching any more new TV shows. I'm done with all that shit. It's all garbage. I'm done. I'll tell you guys off here. I may watch that. And I heard The Expanse is good. I'm reading the books. It's fucking awesome. But yeah, Picard, like, nah, I'm good. I saw his end already, man. We're good. Fuck is going on? I'm not watching. Fuck Batwoman. I'm not watching that.
No, I can't watch.
I'm not watching that shit.
Any CW shit I can.
Yeah, I'm done with those CW shows. Fuck that shit. Fuck that.
But they're so high quality.
This is it. This is the last season of Supernatural. It's only 54 seasons later.
50 years.
Listen, that Supernatural has the only reason why Supernatural is going off the other is essentially all the guys on the show saying, "Hey, you know what? I think it's time."
Okay,
just keep going, man.
For another 15
Mike,
years.
get the fuck out of here. I never even watched Brokeback Mountain, man. You crazy.
Oh, wait, what?
Yo, Mike, you good.
He's not gonna... That's too real for Tony. It's got to be pure escapism.
Yeah, no. He said I loved the movie.
Oh.
Jake Gyllenhaal and Joker, man. Yeah, that great movie.
Yeah.
By the way,
it's the Joker versus
That's also
Mysterio. Yeah, exactly.
Mysterio and Joker. There you go. See, I'll watch that movie. Gay Mysterio and Joker.
See, that's also, come on, like, try harder.
Yeah, right.
That's some low-hanging fruit right there. Like, I bet you like Brokeback Mountain. Like, come on, man. Dig a little deeper. I know you guys
doesn't like Brokeback Mountain. Come on.
Yeah, by the way, Joker movie, don't give a fuck either. Don't care. Oh, man. All right.
That movie, man.
Don't care.
Well, but dude, I mean, DC makes a superhero movie.
Oh, get out of here, Dane. That movie sucked. Jupiter Ascending was ass.
Oh, by the way. Oh, dude. By the way.
Yeah.
The Joker? I don't know. It's probably just called Joker.
Yeah, it's just
called Joker.
Best, my favorite DC movie in the past 10 years.
Excuse me?
For most people.
That's not saying much, though.
Yeah, Carlos, I don't think you can have the right to talk about DC.
It's better than Batman v Superman for me.
Well, many movies are better than that.
That doesn't say much for you, Carlos.
Yeah, right. Your standards for DC movies aren't exactly high.
Yo, man, your man was better than Batman v Superman, right?
Dude, an enema of bees is better than Batman vs Superman.
I mean, I don't know. I see Joker as like a bait and switch movie. It sounds like they just had.
Dude, it's just falling down with the Joker on it.
It doesn't bait and switch because it doesn't give you anything else. It's just this is it. There's no.
It's another type of film. It's another genre of film disguised, with the name of a well-known character.
Manny, I'm going to use your phrase.
But he's still crazy. It's not like if it was a family film, then yes, I'd be like bait and switch because he's a happy-go-lucky guy.
He's not the Joker though, and this thing that. Sorry, I'm going to go off on a fucking rant and interrupt everybody for a second, but
Throwdown.
I am so sick of.
All right, let's battle, Brett.
DC puts out a fucking movie, and they put out a character, and they say, we're going to make a movie about this character. I can pretty much be assured that it's going to be anything but the character I know from the comics. It's like they fucking sit down and say, hey, you know this thing that's wildly popular and everybody loves? Let's go any direction but this.
Well, they made it better.
They did not make it better. They made it stupid.
Hey, right now people are loving it.
Yeah, people are fucking loving it.
DC movie ever made since.
That doesn't say anything.
I'm gonna say
this is it. This is it.
Would anybody go see this movie if it was just called Fleck?
I would.
No,
they wouldn't.
Yes.
Yeah,
people saw Taxi Driver.
They wouldn't.
Exactly.
No, but that was a different time. That was a different time.
All anybody cares about nowadays, or most people care about, and that's exactly what a lot of filmmakers are talking about, is that everything has to be connected to some sort of escapism fantasy. If this film was just about a normal guy going crazy, putting makeup on, ever have that same reaction.
There's alternate take.
On to see it if it was somebody they didn't hear.
They released a movie called Boyhood that took the span of just a boring guy's life for over 12 years, and that shit fucking won awards and did well in the box office.
Did it do well?
Yeah.
That's probably one of Richard Linklater's most popular ones.
Yeah. Like, I don't see anything wrong with this film because it's a fan who said, hey, I got this great idea for a script, a different version take. People are like, yeah, you know what? Why not? It's not breaking anything.
It's a different version take. That's
every Joker is a different version take.
Exactly. There is
that's my point.
Everything is different.
Stop it.
So you can pick and choose. They're not making a franchise out of this.
Is it really a reinvention? All it is just an appropriation of a familiar name, and that's all this fucking movie is, man.
That's every Joker.
You need to see it.
That's every Joker.
But see, that right there is the fucking problem. How about you make a continuous series of movies instead of fail after fail, and then rebooting the Joker again every 10 years as a different kind of deranged psychopath that has absolutely nothing to do with the original comics and strays further and further from the fucking source material.
Their whole thing is this is a one-off. This is not to be a franchise.
So call it something else. Here's my thing. This is what everybody's saying. Call it something else.
They did Joker. It's not called Batman.
Yeah, he uses the name Joker. Like, why don't... This is the thing, I don't know, maybe it's just a personal preference, like, why don't you make it thematic in the Joker universe, or in the Batman universe, that something happened to the Joker? He went missing. You can make all these copycat movies of all these different people, to kind of like they did with the death of Superman in the comic books. Like, all these people that are kind of Joker, but not quite Joker, all trying to battle and kind of like... And every once in a while you can introduce a Batman, and you can stop just pissing on the idea.
Then you didn't read the reviews of Gotham when they did that, because they did that in there. They just had a bunch of different versions of Joker, and people flipped out.
Every iteration of a cinematic Joker, people have been complaining about. Jack Nicholson, people were complaining about. Fucking Heath Ledger, people were complaining about. Jared Leto, people were complaining about. Rightfully so, people were complaining about it, but they were complaining about it. And now they're complaining about Joaquin Phoenix. Like,
and
all of these Jokers don't really have that much in common with the ones in the comics. Like,
so why don't they make that Joker? Why don't they make the Joker from the comic book series? Just try it once.
Look, and I understand, and I agree, and I understand that. Yeah, they're using the Joker name to make a more popular movie. Yeah, that's fine, but they did a good job of it. That's all that matters.
It's a movie about it. No, that's not all that matters because
watch it.
Hold on, bomb drop here.
Don't pull.
If it's all the name that matters, then why is it not okay for Batman to use guns?
What do you mean?
He did one fucking rule.
No, that's just the hardcore comic people who complained about it.
Yeah,
nobody else cares about Batman.
Podcast.
Nobody else cares about.
By the way, Brett, you're not. You know how usually you're alone with some of these things. You're not alone. I 100% agree with everything you're saying. This movie is fucking. It shouldn't exist. It's a waste of time for real comic book fans. Why would you waste your time with
real
this shit?
Comic book fans.
Get that shit out of here.
That's can't believe this.
You know,
stop trying to ride the coattails of a popular. Stop trying to ride the coattails of a popular character. You're not even emulating.
Brett, what? From what I heard, I didn't read the comic, but people were saying that the Dark Knight wasn't really the Dark Knight from the comics. Is that true?
Yeah.
Then why didn't people bitch about the Dark Knight back then?
I did.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, the Dark Knight is at least closer to it than this fucking Joker movie is, bro.
But this isn't based off of an actual comic,
and that's the problem, and that's why I personally am not going to bother. Like, if you guys aren't bothering to even base it off the comics, or even try anything resembling it, and let's just be honest, Joker doesn't need an origin story. Why should I bother with this shit? That's what
because it's a cool story.
You can't just take any disgruntled psychopath, put him in clown makeup, and call him the fucking Joker.
Because it's such a cash grab.
There are several key character points that you're missing.
Cash grab would be if it came out and people were like, wow, this movie sucked ass. It was a cash grab. That's not the case here.
No, it is a cash grab. They used the name Joker to get people in the seats.
And people saw it, and they could have shit on it.
But they do that for every franchise.
But the cash grab worked.
No cash grab. No cash
grab.
grab.
It worked. They grabbed the cash. They grabbed the content.
Give me the game.
It's still the Joker.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No, it's not the Joker. No, it's not.
He laughs. He tells jokes.
Let me ask this. Adam, let's break this down. Why do you think that this character is the Joker, other than the fact that they say he's the Joker?
He's the Joker.
That's all that matters. That's what the writer intended. Said, "Hey, this is Joker. I'm in for the
He's
story,
not even the writer who made up
experience."
the Joker. He's just some jackass who came along. And
Then
so
you can
everybody who writes
hate on
fan
him
fiction
and write him
puts
bad
the Joker
tweets.
in it is canon.
The story is based off the Joker. That's what they're saying, and so I watched it because of
Based
that.
off the Joker? There is
And I
That's
like
not
the
the
Joker.
Joker. That's not the Joker. It's just an
Look,
asshole and
all
clown.
it is-
That's not your
all-
Joker. That's not your Joker.
If
Not
they,
the
if,
Joker. Not
Can I
the
speak
Joker.
for a second? Is nobody
No.
hearing me?
Yeah,
Manny's
Manny,
not allowed
Manny-
to
yeah,
talk.
Manny,
Everybody
we're too-
shut up and talk over Manny.
Manny, we're
I'm
too
sorry,
busy yelling at each other, man. Go ahead.
To turn up my fucking gain to talk over everybody? Does it have to do that? Exactly.
Rest in peace, headphones.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Right. Say
Well,
what you're gonna say.
I
Whoa,
actually-
whoa! I don't want Manny yelling at you again, man. Manny, go ahead.
I thought he was done.
No, he didn't start.
He didn't
That was-
start.
Oh,
he just
wait
yelled
a
at me. I don't know what to...
you want to let me talk? I'm gonna say
When the
this.
British guy jumps in, then I assume that people have stopped talking. So
Yeah, let Manny go. Manny gets a preference over British guys.
Damn.
Everybody has said this, or most people have said this. This is a lot of this. I have no problem with them reinventing the idea. I don't it's fine. I have with it is because I can see exactly what it is.
Mhm.
It's marketing bullshit. It's
Mhm.
all essentially just using familiar names that you know to get you to watch a movie you probably wouldn't have already saw.
Cash grab.
I don't know, man, because Joaquin Phoenix is a popular actor and he's a very good actor. So most likely people would have seen it regardless because he is a good actor.
Have hit the same sort of numbers if it wasn't a familiar.
Probably.
I doubt it.
Probably.
The only reason this movie's
No,
making money is because it's the
probably.
Joker. Come on, Adam. It's because it's the
Probably.
Joker name,
Just
bro.
another one of Joaquin Phoenix's really great films, right?
And he'll win out. Yeah. But that's the thing. It could have sucked.
Fucking second.
Yeah. Oh.
I can't hear him.
That
Yep.
game,
Yeah.
if that movie had a name that was very familiar, something from a franchise that everybody heard from, would also have done incredibly well. It's not about actually just making good films. It's about good films. People care about whether they heard about it or not. So
Mhm.
people know what Joker is. They see this guy in a clown makeup. All right, then we'll go see that. If it was called something else, maybe if we called it The Man Who Laughed.
But you're saying it. You're answering your own question. Because if it sucked and people went in and said, "Hey, this is a Joker,"
we're not talking about
this
the
ain't the
quality.
Joker.
We're not talking about
Dude,
the
but
quality.
Adam,
garbage.
We're not talking about the
Adam.
quality of it. We're talking about the cash grab
Yeah,
nature of it,
It has
bro.
nothing to do. It has nothing to do with quality. I have no problem. Again, for me, I have absolutely no problem with them playing around with the idea. But just called this something else. You could have just placed it in New York, like where it was filmed, and it wouldn't do the same numbers as if it would do if it did with a familiar name and familiar things inside of it. There's no other than that. There are absolutely no other connections to the comic books other than the names of things.
That's it. If this
But
had
it's still
gone,
a good
if
movie,
it, no, if it had, we're not talking about the quality. Quality's irrelevant right now. Well, the point we're trying to make is if this movie had gone by a different name, it would not have gotten the same buzz as it would have been. It would have been one of those Oscar
But I mean,
movies.
look at all right. So we talked about like Gotham. Gotham didn't even have Batman in it. It
Yeah,
had all
and the
other
show
stuff,
was
and people-
trash.
But it was
That
still
was a
on
terrible
for
show.
years.
It was still on for
That show was
years.
fucking embarrassing. That was a horrible
It was
show.
still on for years.
It doesn't matter.
and
It
the- and the-
sucked.
And the
People
series
watched it.
finale did have Batman.
Oh my
Toward
god.
the end, but he
It
didn't
was
do
terrible.
anything. I watched it.
Yeah.
The show was terrible.
The show was fucking trash.
But it was still on. It didn't get
It doesn't
canceled
matter. It
within
was
the first
trash.
season.
It was
Is this
trash.
movie? Is this movie using the Joker IP to boost its sales?
Yes.
Of fucking course it is.
Okay, good.
Yeah, there's no question about it. But is this a good movie? And should people watch it because it's a good movie? And should people judge it based on its credibility as a film, as a piece of art? I think so. But like,
No, that's a fair thing to say, but Carlos, you know me. Would I watch a movie like this? You know I wouldn't.
I think if it wasn't a Joker movie, you might watch it from word of mouth.
Oh no, I would, because I've seen it already. I've seen Falling Down 20 years ago. I don't need to see that shit again. It's just a regular guy going crazy. What's in there that's
but I mean, you've seen the Godzilla movie hundreds of times.
Yeah, because there's fucking monsters in it. Are there monsters in this shit? Come on, man. You got to give me something. You got to give me some juice.
Into something that is into pure escapism.
Exactly. I'm gonna go watch a movie about some guy losing his mind in the real world. What the hell's the point of that?
So essentially, a film like Taxi Driver, which is a great film, a film like The King of Comedy, he would not see those movies. And this is essentially The King of Comedy with a Joker paint job on top of it. They took these films that took these films and just repackaged it under Joker. Now
sorry, go ahead.
No, I just want to make this clear because people are gonna talk shit. I am not saying don't go watch this movie. If you want to watch this movie, go right ahead. I'm just saying I'm not interested in it.
No, can I clarify something, Tony? I think I can put a bow on this.
Yeah.
When you take a movie that is not wrapped in the source material and attach something like the Joker to it in order to sell tickets, you get the benefit of a well-recognized name and putting butts in seats.
Yeah.
Now, the opposite side of that is because you've attached the name to it, people who are associated more familiarly with or who are more familiar with the name are going to judge the movie by that criteria. Right? Yeah. They don't get the benefit of the doubt of it being viewed as a standalone movie because they told us it was a Joker movie. The same thing that put those butts in seats is the same reason that they catch flack now. Right? So they get the bonus of writing the Joker name, but they also get the venom of everybody who knows about Joker bitching because this isn't a fucking Joker movie.
But that's it. No one's bitching.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
It's making tons of money in theaters. People are going and people are loving it.
To be fair, though, this movie is not really getting any backlash because, again, like if you go to my Twitter, I don't even talk about this movie because I'm like, okay, this movie's not for me. I'm not even going to talk about it. That's where I'm because again, I don't want to fuck up anybody else's enjoyment of it because I know people.
The reason it's getting a pass is because Heath Ledger set a kind of precedent that like you can take the Joker and go kind of wild and zany and tell your own story with it, right? And they're judging it against the other DC movies. They're like, this might be the best DC movie I've seen. Yeah.
I didn't say might have. It is the best DC movie in the last 10 years.
It's very creative. Yeah. It's very
the last DC movie. They've all been fucking garbage fire.
But Brett, going to your point, look at that. The association. Oh, this is a DC movie. Like, it's already putting that onus in it. Like, oh, it's a Joker. It's DC. So you already have these things going into the theater. You go in there like, well, what the fuck is this shit?
No, but Joker? If you see a trailer, then you know. Most people watch a trailer. They don't just say, all right, Joker but the point Batman. They watch a trailer. Want to see if there's any action. Doesn't say anything about Batman. If you look at the poster, it doesn't say anything about anybody, really. Doesn't even say Joaquin.
Well, number one, the Joker's already in the zeitgeist, and nobody's playing stupid about that. Yeah. Everybody knows what it is, and it says DC.
Hold on, I got to address this real quick. Sorry, Manny. Dana asked me what the hell is so compelling about monsters roaring at each other. Monsters roaring at each other. That's what's fucking compelling. That thing is fucking awesome. Come on now. Instead of some guy moping, it's like
it's monsters, but they're giants.
There are people there are people that definitely want to have deeper experiences.
Yeah, and good for them. I don't have to do it.
I mean, obviously, right now, obviously for Tony, movies of escapism, like monsters and superheroes, all the things that you read when you were young. That's the type of movies that he wants to see. Sci-fi films.
Yeah.
All right, hit the mic.
Hit the mic. Yeah. Exactly. Again, if you want to watch this movie, you want to enjoy it, that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to begrudge you that. I'm just saying it's not for me. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
For me, I'm not. It's not something I really want to go see in the movies. But if it pops up somewhere, then yeah, I'll watch it there. I'm not
against
going to see the film, but I just also see the film for what it is.
Yes.
It's essentially just. We remade these two films and just splashed some Joker paint on it. And we called it a day. We could have just again. It could have been The Man Who Laughed, and it could have been the same sort of idea.
But do you guys think they knew what they were doing by leading the clown?
What's that?
What happened?
You cut out, Brett.
Yeah.
I said, do you guys think that they know what they were doing when they leaned into the whole clown life thing?
Making it a joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean the subculture.
What do you mean subculture? Joker subculture?
There is essentially the most of incels on the have adopted the identity of clown life, clown culture, clown world. It's kind of a weird repeat of the ICP thing.
Oh God!
The whole world is upside down and topsy turvy, and that's become a thing. And I can't help but fucking notice that I know the Joker wears makeup before, and I realize that if you're just kind of at a passing glance, you may not understand that he's not a fucking clown. He's a representation of the wild card. He has clown henchmen, but like they leaned real heavily into Joker being a clown in this movie, right around the time this was really kind of reaching a fevered pitch. Like, I don't know if that's coincidence. You want to talk about conspiracy? Like, yeah, I'm not really sure that this whole movie isn't just fucking stirring the pot, trying to be weird and controversial. And I understand that, the last iteration of the Joker was done to perfection. I just feel like it's even the idea.
The last iteration was not done to perfection, bro.
The last real Joker, the last Heath Ledger.
You talking about Cesar Romero, man?
Yeah, that's my boy, man. Latino, son.
Heath Ledger nailed that shit so hard that it kind of encapsulated, lightning in a bottle. It was this weird, deranged, unhinged guy. It wasn't really the Joker, but he had kind of some of these same ideas in it. It was actually kind of a weird adaptation, but it made sense. And then this is going one step further removed from that. It's like it's discounting the source material and leaning more into this kind of like zeitgeisty political kind of like. I feel like this is a movie about the current world we live in with a Joker name slapped on top of it.
Yeah. I'm not gonna get into all that. I'm just speaking up. I'm just speaking my mind as a comic book fan. Why I'm against this movie, but that other stuff.
I definitely think that it's obviously taking cues from things that that are happening in our current world, as well as also looking back at older films that people probably hadn't seen as of yet. Yeah. So I think it's kind of taking a bit of everything, and that's what I think that this film sort of represents. I also think that again, name to get people in seats, and that's pretty much it. And that's the thing that they were taught that Scorsese was talking about, that everybody kind of came down upon him on, kind of everybody saw it as him talking smack about
Marvel movies, yeah.
It's not about Marvel movies. It's about escapism cinema in general, and how it's totally taken over the movies. You can't have a movie without some sort of superhero or some sort of familiar thing out there and get it and have people see it. Seeing a lot of really great films just moving onto like Netflix or onto Amazon Video or a few other ones, because the actual cinema has already the gate is already closed on that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That's what he's really talking about.
Yeah, last point, because because I want to end the show. Go ahead, last point, and then we're done. Actually, no, Brian's going to be the last point, then we're done.
Okay. This will be quick. One of the good things, Brett, is that you're right. This is a political it does sort of show sort of the political realm of today. Like it does show aspects of that. But the good thing about this movie, as someone who's seen it, is it doesn't tell you what you should think about it, which is the great thing about one of the good things about this movie. It doesn't tell you how you're supposed to feel about anything. You just get presented what the world is, and you make your decisions for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Remember when movies used to do that? All right, Brian, take us home, man.
Okay, this mainly just a reply to Manny. I was in the same boat as Tony like a couple months ago. Like, I didn't like the idea of a Joker film. I didn't like the actor. I mean, the last Joaquin Phoenix film I seen was Her. So,
Her was good, man.
Yeah, that was the last one. Ever since then, I'm like, I don't like this actor. So
did you see when he went crazy?
Like it. I seen the trailer. I was like, the trailer just seems a bit weird. I'm done. Like, I'm good. And this just goes to what Manny's saying, that put the name there to get people in the seats. Well enough, the name kept me out the seats. But now I'm hearing all this good praise and how, okay, it's actually a good film if you remove yourself from the comic book aspects of it. And that's actually what's getting me into the seats. I actually have my tickets booked to watch it tomorrow, because I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me actually give this a go. Let me see what it is. So none of everything that you guys have said is actually getting me to watch it in the sense of, oh, it's the Joker story, or it's the story about the Joker and his origins. Like, none of that like I'm removed from that, and I'm just saying I'm going to watch it because everyone has said ignore that aspect and go watch it anyway.
Yeah,
So,
I concur. I concur with that as well.
yeah. So,
I'm not
and
saying
also, I think that whole
it's the same for everybody. Well, I'm saying
no,
it's also it's
I'm
for
just giving my ultimate.
it's for general audiences. I would
Yes,
say.
yes, for
People
general
who are
audiences.
not officially who know the name but don't really know that much about the character. It's more about familiarity for people that are not know what this thing is.
Yeah,
that's
no, I
what
agree.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like again, a lot of praise that I see on my timeline are just being real right now. A lot of like fans that are fans of comic book characters from movies. They're not real fans that read the shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's for those type of people. Which is perfectly fine. I'm not against that at all. But it's definitely for that type of like you said, the mass audience type of people. Like, hey, I know Joker. Joker's cool. I remember Joker. I'll go check out the movie.
I think general audience people will jump into seeing a film about a character they've already heard of.
Yes, like Joaquin Phoenix, he's from Gladiator. I'll go watch that shit. Yeah.
Some people don't even know that.
So if this movie goes down in history as one of the best, and if he gets listed as the best ever Joker, would you get upset?
Why would I? Who cares? The best.
You seem to care because you.
No, it doesn't affect me. I'm not even watching the movie. I don't care.
But that's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand why you don't like it though. That's it.
The fact that I didn't say I don't like it. I don't care. It's not for me.
I'm the one who doesn't like it.
Yeah, he's the one. I don't care. I'm just staying away from it. I'm just apathetic. I don't care. Like the best live action Joker, as far as I'm concerned, is fucking Cesar Romero. I said it. Fuck that shit.
You should care, Tony.
I don't, Brett. I'm becoming so cynical now. I don't care about a lot of things anymore. Bro.
Yeah, because you didn't care when Bane happened. Is the reason we got fucking Jared Leto's Joker.
No one gives a shit about what I have to say, bro. Yeah, I'm just an asshole ranting on the internet. Nobody gives a fuck.
Oh, because we all let yeah, exactly. Like we all let it slide because it's an interesting character. Clearly not Bane. We're like, Heath Ledger kind of did Joker, went a little bit away. Okay, and then they made that guy that we said singer mask guy, Bane. Everyone's like, I mean, he's a cool character, so. We can kind of roll with it. Ever since then, they've just been reinventing the wheel into fucking this weird triangular fucking shape. It doesn't work better than the fucking wheel. Like, quit going off the rails with every DC character and trying to reinvent them. It doesn't need it.
Brett, what's your thoughts on Watchmen film?
On
the Watchmen movie?
First one?
Yeah, the movie. The only one. The only movie that exists.
The Zack Snyder.
Dude, it's awesome. It's accurate, close to the comics. I know it wasn't a huge. I think that it's an amazing movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, Watchmen was pretty fucking awesome. The ending, I was a little upset by because it wasn't like the comics, but it was pretty fucking close. But that also kind of hurt it too because that should never have been made into a film. As weird as that sounds, it should have just been a comic book. But they did a good job.
It should have. It was well executed, and I think the fact that it was executed and true to source is the reason that we still talk about it today. Yeah. As opposed to it just being a fart in the wind. It's what secured its cult status and its longevity. It's what secured it as kind of like, it wasn't a huge success, but it's still a lot of people's favorite. So if it weren't accurate to the comic, if it didn't almost go shot for shot in some places, then I don't think it would be as well received and remembered this far past.
Yeah, I agree. And also, conversely, Brett, on that point, that's why I'm not going to watch the Watchmen show. I'm like, has nothing to do with the books. Don't care. Stop bothering.
Yeah.
Don't care. Don't care. And that's my thing. I'm like, instead of me getting angry over shit, why should I get angry? Just don't bother with it. Like Star Trek Discovery showed me out. That show pissed me off so much. Like, Tony, just give it up. Stop caring about this shit. Just let it go.
Well, dude, there's some things that are really like, dude, y'all know how I feel about Tank Girl. Fucking love Tank Girl.
Oh, right? wait till they ruin that shit.
Yeah, dude, kind of already did with the movie.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the first movie was so bad, and I still loved it. But it was so terrible that you got a Guardians of the Galaxy situation.
God,
it's gonna be tough to like be like, oh no, they're not original line of Tank Girl. Like, well, I mean, it's so much better than the. So, I'm excited. There are things that you can play around with, and there are things you can't.
Yeah, Brett, I'm looking forward to your thoughts on the Wheel of Time.
I got him. We don't got time, but I fucking got him with a fucking barrel full.
We're done. We're done tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed the extra 30 minutes of movie content at the end, man. All right.
That's old Throwdown there.
That's right, man. All right, we're done here, man. Thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and today's joined by Emilio Lopez.
Yes.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Oh, no, everyone's here. Later, people.
Adam Vale.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Brett Murdoch.
See you, party people.
And Brian Manjoma.
I'm going to ask the question that everyone's all thinking. Is this an out-of-season Team N Squared joke?
Oh.
Yeah, we'll see you on Sunday, man. Later.
I was waiting for that one.
I need one of us in the records, brother.
Brian carried that on his back.
Damn.